stats versus facts. Ayy, stats versus facts. Ayy, know where we at on the stats versus facts. Yeah, my boy hella black. He on the stats versus facts, and you might get smacked by the stats versus facts. Ayy. Yo, what's going on? Welcome to Stats versus Facts Sports Talk. You know where we at. It's your boy Marsh here with the crew. What to do, crew? What to do? What to do?
Hello, hello, hello.
Bueno.
Yes, sir. G Money and C Mac back. You know what I mean? Back in black, both of y'all. Damn.
Mm-hmm.
Yo,
Men in Black. Men in Black 3.
Oh,
yo, I'm wearing the pink. You know what I'm saying? It's Valentine's Day. You know, one love.
There we go.
Yeah, it's tomorrow, but still. You know what I mean?
Black like my heart, baby. Black like my heart.
cold-blooded animal.
Cold-blooded. Y'all welcome to the show. We got a good one for you today. The season finale.
This is it, baby. The conclusion.
Yes. So we got to go out with a bang.
Bang skis.
Wait, you got a bang sound over there? You got a bang sound over there, G Money?
Nah, I tried to record the gunshots, but I could never get it. I was like, oh.
Oh well. Well, I got it for you. Boom. Yeah.
Ooh, you got to end with a big shot.
Yeah, you already know. So, fellas, let's get into this. We're gonna start off. You know, we always start off with NFL. I'm not gonna do it. We're gonna start off with the NBA. Let's start off with the NBA today, fellas.
Let's go.
So NBA is talking about having an all-star game on March the 7th. I believe that is a Sunday. They're gonna get all the players to come in Saturday, and then on Sunday they're going to have a game, and then have the dunk contest, and I believe the 3-point contest at halftime, which I thought was kind of interesting.
It didn't quit it situation.
Yeah, and LeBron has been quoted saying, "I have zero interest and zero energy to play in an all-star game this year." I mean, what are your guys' thoughts? Do you think they should have an all-star game or skip it this year?
Christopher?
You got to do it for the fans. The All-Star game is for the fans, and it's part of the job, part of their contract. LeBron probably has no energy because he just came off a title run and he had to bounce back real quick. Most of the players didn't. So, I mean, that's LeBron. I mean, if you want to make the comparison, Michael Jordan probably would have played in it anyway. Kobe would have played in it. So, get on, keep going.
Yeah, that's a good take.
Let's keep it real. We know what it's all about. Cash money.
G Money, let me hear it.
One more time.
What do you?
So yeah, they're probably gonna make another 25 million off this, and it's just a big event for them, so they gotta have it. I mean, and they've already probably taken in the revenue from the advertisers a year ahead, so there's no way they're gonna return the money. So they need this, and I feel bad for the players. Don't get me wrong. I think they should try to give them maybe another week or two off if they have to bring them in for this time. I think it's a fair trade-off. Trying to find some other. I would have liked for the NBA to find something to replace it, but obviously they didn't really think ahead, I guess. And then think of like something like some other events or something they could have put on. But it's such a big revenue stream for them. Like, why it's happening.
Yeah, I mean, everything is kind of built upon each other. There's number one, a bunch of games that have already been canceled, so they got to figure out how they're going to make up some of those games in the second half of the season, if they are at all. And then when playoffs roll around, you got to figure out, okay, well, now we got to fit all this in by the summertime before the Olympics, and figure out all that stuff. So it's a lot that they're cramming in, and you're only really giving the players like a week off, for the All-Star break in March, and then they're right back at it. So I can understand why LeBron, why Jimmy Butler, would be like, hey, I don't really, I'm not really looking forward to playing in this or want to play in this. And Giannis too, saying expressing his feelings about it. He said, we got to follow what the big dog says, and not really, feeling like playing. Like some of them, they were there till in the bubble till late September, early October, right? Um, but some players have not played since March. Stephen Curry hadn't played since March. He had a long layoff. You had guys like Bradley Beal, who'd been injured, hadn't played. Kevin Durant came back from injury. Kyrie came back from injury. So some of those guys are probably, still itching to play and want to play. So I think this year, even though you want to see everybody in there and you want to see everybody playing, I think they could make it optional for certain players that played. I know they're not going to do that, but I'm just saying I would, you know, like to see that. If LeBron and AD are like, nah, we don't really want to play, y'all can show up, but don't play because you got to put some rest on the body. Now, to Chris's point or C-Mac's point, Jordan and Kobe probably would have played. You're probably right. You're very right. I think both of them would have played. So I mean, I understand, that LeBron and AD will probably have to play, whether they play a lot or not a lot. It just all depends. But then again, Kobe and Jordan never had the shorter break, upon things. So it's interesting. It is kind of interesting.
I mean, even going to the finals and then the Olympics
Yeah,
back in the season. So I mean, they had
right,
that.
right. So, it's gonna be. I understand, what LeBron is saying, but too at the same time, it's like part of the job. Some after this, more than likely, things will kind of probably get back to normal in June, July. Those that don't go to the Olympics, opt out of the Olympics, will have all the way till October to rest and whatever that they need to do. You know what I mean?
You think it's
So
hypocritical of the league to have the All-Star game?
hypocritical.
Yeah. They've always
Uh
been about player safety first and trying to
right,
minimize.
right. No, I get you. Not really to me.
Mhm.
Because guys did have from March to what, August off.
Yeah.
Really. So that's a good 4, 5, damn near 6 months. And then after the finals, some teams still had time off all the way till December. We had a couple months off. So, I mean, half the, a good majority of the league is well rested, ready to play. And then those that made it to the, late stages last year have less rest. So it's just kind of, it's really hard to say. It's really hard to say. You know what I mean? So
There's some interesting things like having it in Atlanta, right? Where
now that is weird. I don't know
where
why the heck they're
COVID's
going to
running
have it in
running
Atlanta.
rampant right now.
Yeah. Now that I could say I would agree. That is a bit hypocritical. Why the hell would you have it in Atlanta? If I were them, I'd have it right back. You know, in Florida where they know it's safe and people didn't test positive. You know what I mean? So, I don't know. That's just me.
Yeah.
But we will see moving forward with that.
They're gonna have it, so whatever.
Yeah, pretty much.
Everybody can cry. I guess everybody can cry about it, but it's gonna happen.
Yep. I don't even know who the coach is right now. Right now, I believe the coaches would be. Was Vogel the head coach? Was Vogel the All-Star coach last year, or was it Doc Rivers?
T-Mac.
I don't remember who had the. No, the Lakers had the best record in the West. So since Vogel was it last year, oh, actually they're not even
What,
first. So
Utah?
this, yeah, this year would be Quinn Snyder. Quinn Snyder would actually be.
Yeah, it was Nick Nurse and Frank Vogel last year.
Yeah, so this year would be Snyder
Doc Rivers is?
Yeah, Doc Rivers. Yeah, it'd be Snyder and Doc Rivers. Yeah, that's right.
We're gonna get Doc in there.
Yeah. So we're looking at them as being the coaches for the captains because they're obviously going to still do it in that same style that they did last year. I'm for what I'm remembering.
Yeah, it should be the same stuff.
They're probably going to have KD and LeBron be captains more than likely.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's probably going to be LeBron, right? I don't think you can not have LeBron as a captain.
Right.
And then on the East, I mean, you could go Joel Embiid if you want a little more humor.
Right. But I think Durant right now is the
top two leading vote getters?
Correct. From each conference.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So, with saying that, let's look at some guys who are looking to be the NBA All-Stars this year and who that we think could be. So, give me 1 second.
So they do it 2 guards, 3 front court, and then they do the bench the same way, and then it's 2 wild cards, right?
Right.
Yeah, 2 bench players.
So right now, as we mentioned, LeBron is number 1 in the West for voting, and Durant is number 1 in the East for voting. Possible players that we have front court is categorized by front court and guards. All right.
Yeah.
So we're gonna go from the Western Conference, from 1 to 10 in this order. It's LeBron, and this is by vote getting. LeBron, Jokic, Kawhi, AD, Paul George, Zion, Andrew Wiggins, Christian Wood, Brandon Ingram, Carmelo Anthony. That's the front court. Starting with the front court. Anybody on there that you would be like, they got to be replaced by so and so?
Melo, Christian Wood. I don't know if Zion makes it, man. I don't know. I mean, obviously he's having a great season. He's up there.
And he might not make it. I mean, he's number 6 in the vote getting.
Yeah, I just hate putting guys that are losing teams. I feel like you need to reward winning.
Okay, so if we're gonna look at this, LeBron, Jokic, Kawhi, Anthony Davis, we're good, right?
Yeah, Anthony Davis second team probably.
He might start.
Nah, Jokic will.
They both might start.
Jokic, LeBron, Kawhi.
AD might start over Kawhi.
Nah, it shouldn't be not that. No.
Maybe, and that all depends because whomever picks whomever, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean LeBron's gonna pick AD,
right?
But Kawhi should start over AD.
You think they're still sticking with the captains that are picking the teams?
Yeah, that's what I read. That's what I read.
They are. Wiggins.
Nope.
Probably won't make it. Christian Wood won't make it, especially because he's injured now. Brandon Ingram won't make it. Carmelo won't make it. Zion on a bad team, I get it. Paul George is an interesting one because he's injured.
Oh, he's injured. He'll probably opt out, right?
Probably.
Yeah, he should make it, but he'll probably opt out.
Right. I mean, he's shooting like 40-something% from the 3-point line.
He's coming through this season.
3.8. I mean, he normally tends to have a good regular season, but then something happens where he gets injured and then he just falls off.
Yeah.
So
gets anxiety or something, man. Something mental.
Yeah.
Start hitting the side of the backboard.
Yep.
And then he always goes to the shoulder. Oh, my shoulder. So we'll see this year.
Right. Anybody that you wanted to add? Anybody that y'all can think of to add to this front court?
Front court. Take a look. It's in a book. It's reading Rainbow.
I think Doncic, maybe. Well, no, for the front court.
we're going into guard. Doncic is a part of the guard side.
Yeah, that's I was like, oh, you're talking about the front court. I think the front court's pretty solid.
What about
I still
Rudy
think
Gobert?
Rudy Gobert is not on there.
He shouldn't be on there.
He shouldn't be on there.
I mean, you're probably gonna have Donovan Mitchell, but I think Rudy Gobert is a very important part of why they're number one.
Oh, without a doubt. Should he be on there? Yeah, I would put him on there ahead of like a Wiggins.
He's hella boring in an All-Star game, so I can see why they wouldn't put him either.
Well, shoots, he wasn't boring when he dunked on Giannis the other night.
Yeah.
And he was a big part of Team LeBron. Was he on Team LeBron last year? Yeah. He's a big part of Team LeBron winning. So I don't know.
I'd put him on probably.
Yeah. Anybody else?
Front court, let's see, small forwards. I think I'm good right there.
Yeah. See, Matt.
No, we said it all.
Yep.
On point.
I agree. So I'm good on that. Going to the guards from 1 to 10. You have Curry, who is the 3rd overall vote getter.
Who's number 2? Well, Durant.
Yeah, Durant.
Okay.
Yeah, Curry's the 3rd overall vote getter. Then you have Doncic, Lillard, Mitchell, Morant, Booker, Paul, Klay Thompson for some reason, CJ McCollum, and Alex Caruso.
Laker fans, baby. They're crazy.
Yep. Anybody that was kind of left off of this list that should be on there. I mean, I understand.
DeRozan.
Yeah, of course.
DeMar
Of course, it
DeRozan.
has to be.
Bro, are you kidding me?
Yeah, the Spurs
Easy.
wouldn't have any representation on the All-Star team. And I mean, he's having a decent season. Scoring's down. He's averaging 26 and 6 or something like that. 27 and 6. 27 and 5.
So he's 25th in PER.
Mm-hmm.
And some of these guys aren't going to make it. You know, some of these guys are like unknown people that are in his PER. So
yeah,
I think he should make it.
Okay. Curry, I can understand. Luka, I understand. Damian Lillard, I understand. Starts getting a little fuzzy with Mitchell and Morant. Morant has been hurt for a good majority of the season. I mean, he started off great, but he's been hurt for a majority of the season, so I don't know if I can necessarily put him on there.
You probably go De'Aaron Fox, right?
Yeah, De'Aaron Fox is one I would put on there, even though he's on the losing team.
Yeah.
Mitchell. I mean, Mitchell's good. Don't get me wrong. I mean, he's an exciting player to see. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm okay with the Jazz having 2 people.
Yeah.
They're number 1 overall.
But really, right now, he's the only one on there.
Oh, yeah. Well, Rudy Gobert should be on there.
Yeah, Rudy Gobert.
But Gobert, Conley, and Clarkson won't get a lot of love, but they're essential. So at least they have one representative.
Yeah. DeRozan could be on there. I would agree. How about John Wall?
I think he's having a great season. He's obviously.
I would take him over Caruso.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Nah, couldn't do it.
But
really,
he's having a good season, man. But
it's a fan vote.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Comeback player of the year, maybe.
Yep.
Could be
Most improved.
Most improved.
Yeah, I mean, she's been playing. I don't know. I might put him over. I'd put him over Caruso. I would just say that.
Well, we put Fox and DeMar in, right? So that's gonna keep him out.
CJ was balling, but he got hurt. So
yeah, CJ could get in, man, but it's rough. How long has he been hurt for?
He's been hurt for about a month and a half.
Oof, yeah, it sucks for CJ, man. He was having a great
Thompson
season.
Shouldn't even be in there. I don't.
No.
Thompson's name.
That's ridiculous.
Chris Paul, Devin Booker. I don't want to see either one of them in there.
Yeah, not Devin Booker. Chris Paul would be like a achievement award for a long career award.
Don't want to see him in there. Don't want to see him in there.
You don't want to have representation for a top 4 seed.
I mean, if they're not going to have the Spurs in there,
The hell with them if they're not having the Spurs in there.
Yeah, no,
I don't even want an All-Star game if they don't have the Spurs in there.
I mean, between Paul and Booker, I'd rather have Booker than I would have Paul.
Yeah, Booker should definitely get over Paul.
Yeah, I'd have to do that.
Go CP3.
Okay.
Not because numbers, just because they weren't a top 4 seed with Booker last year. But
true, that's
with
true.
CP3, they're a top 4 seed, so obviously a difference maker.
But then again, without CP3, they went undefeated in the bubble.
Yeah, but that was you always say the bubble doesn't really count.
There was certain games that people played against. It was their second string, but they played against top string players. So, it'll be interesting. And that's the interesting debate. Anybody else that you could see being in there, fellas?
I mean, obviously SGA is getting kind of hosed, but he's on a really terrible team.
Yep.
Yeah, he'll have to wait his turn.
Fair.
That's my only gripe, probably. The only one I could think of.
Right.
Morant's not played enough.
Right.
Zion and Ingram get kind of. I mean, Zion will probably be in there because of his popularity.
Well, they're on the front court.
Oh yeah, sure.
Another guy on the front court I forgot to mention. What about your guy Al Horford?
I mean, Al Horford is the god for a reason, but even him and SGA cannot improve this Thunder team too much.
And they're not over 500, but they're still.
Yeah. They're not trash like we thought they would be.
Yeah, they're not.
They're hanging in there. If he wouldn't cost so much, he'd be on a contender.
Right. Oladipo. Anybody?
Yeah, I was just about to say that. Oladipo, maybe Eric Gordon, Jamal Murray.
Jamal Murray.
I'm good on all of them. I think Oladipo's having a big scoring year, but it's very inefficient. It's kind of dipped in.
He came from Indiana to Houston. Excuse me.
Yeah, his 3-point percentage is dipped. His inefficiency is dipped. I mean, Rockets were rolling for a little bit. Maybe he had made a chance.
Right. And he's on a losing team.
Yeah, so I'm good on him.
Okay. So, looking like we are
all figured out in the West. West side.
Going to the East. The front court. Actually, let's start off with the guards first. We'll start off with the guards in this one. Bradley Beal, in this order. Bradley Beal, Kyrie Irving, James Harden, Jaylen Brown, Zach LaVine, Trae Young, Colin Sexton, Derrick Rose, Russell Westbrook, Fred VanVleet.
Derrick Rose.
Sir, D Rose.
I mean, obviously, we know how great Beal's been doing, but he's on a losing team.
Yeah.
Shouldn't matter.
So
I don't like doing it personally, but I know the numbers are big. But I've seen people put up big numbers. Kevin Love, Minnesota, and it just never translates to winning. And their players are usually a little overrated once they get put on contender teams.
Yeah, I mean, Cousins put up big numbers in Sacramento, and
it's just like, But I'm a defensive guy, so.
But he did get on an all-star team. He did get on a couple of all-star teams when he's on a bad team. So
this one's tougher because everybody's kind of clumped together. You're just like, I could go anywhere. Obviously, I would vote for Malcolm Brogdon. He's not a really popular guy.
He's probably,
but I think he should be on there.
He should be on this list over Derrick Rose and Russell Westbrook.
Yeah.
Even over Fred VanVleet. I'm sorry. Like, Fred VanVleet's not bad, but.
Dang, Raptors coming out of nowhere, though, right?
Fred VanVleet's been doing pretty damn good this year.
No, he has been. Fred VanVleet. Raptors and the Heat actually been.
Yeah, a little charge. He getting healthy is probably the most important thing. Raptors just kind of like turning the on switch finally.
Yep. But yeah, no Kyle Lowry this year. I mean, he hasn't had the greatest year either.
What is Tatum and Brown? They're both forwards. I consider both forwards, or
Brown is his guard.
okay,
Yeah.
I start Brown.
Yeah, Tatum is a forward.
Kyrie doesn't get in, right?
Kyrie,
Yeah, he doesn't get in.
he's the number 2 guard getter on the East.
I don't think he gets in.
He's getting in.
Yeah, he probably will get in. Should he? I mean, he took what, a week off, 2 weeks off, something like that. And I understand his tantrum, but he has played in a majority of their games and he's put up big numbers. So,
Yeah.
I mean, the same could kind of be said for Harden. Harden's numbers dipped, and he really didn't play well in Houston. And then he finally got traded, and he's been like okay-ish. I mean, his assists have gone up. So, but they'll both probably get in. All 3 of them will probably get in.
Yeah, it'd be interesting because the fans only picked the starters. It then goes to coaches.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, Kyrie, I'm okay with Kyrie making it.
Yeah. No Ben Simmons on this list.
Understandable.
Mm-hmm.
I'm okay with it.
Yep. He's not even on the front court list.
Ben Simmons and Middleton probably very underrated players. Maybe Bill Simmons is probably rated or maybe a little overrated, I guess.
Middleton's not on either one of these lists either.
But if I was starting a team, those 2 would definitely be some of my first picks.
He can't shoot. Even though his shooting's an issue, like Marshall always says.
6'10" point guard, they can run my offense and play late defense. Very switchable. I mean, I got to have that piece if I want a coach.
Best defender in the league, question mark?
Question mark? Exclamation point?
Exclamation point. It's a statement now.
Semicolon?
Should LaMelo be on this list?
Nah.
I agree.
I'm good with him. Even though they've kind of like, he's kind of been the guy who's, elevated the Hornets to the next level too. Him and Hayward.
Yep. Hayward's considered front court.
Yeah.
Any other guard that we should consider being on this list?
I do believe Terry Rozier is actually pretty high up on the list.
How's he doing? Well, Scary Terry. I know he dropped 40 in the last couple games.
41. I think he did okay. It's a little bit, and I think he got injured for a little minute.
Yeah, he did get injured.
Doing a whole heck of a lot. So I'm
He might sneak in.
Kind of on him.
Yeah,
he's good.
Hornets got to get somebody, right?
Yeah, they should. But
MJ's got to pull some strings.
Right.
No.
Anybody else that we can think of?
Going once.
None.
Putting Trae Young and Zach LaVine's impressed me a little more this year.
But he's on a bad team.
Yeah.
So.
It is what it is. It's a fan game, so I'm not really mad at it.
No, yeah, definitely a fan game.
As long as Brogdon gets in.
We'll see. All right. Well, going to the East. Going to the front court.
Mm-hmm.
Kevin Durant, second overall vote getter, and then Giannis, Embiid, Tatum, Butler, Adebayo, Sabonis, Randall, Hayward, and Grant. Any names left off of the front court that you're like, how?
Front court. Did Vucci Man make it?
Nope.
Oh, Vucci Man. Come on. My man, Vucci Man. Vucevic from the Magic.
I agree with you.
Man, he's been balling. Yeah. It sucks. Isaac, Fultz, injured.
Yep.
Vucci Man. But Vucci Man, salute to you, sir.
Yep.
Stretch 5.
We don't see Capella on here or John Collins. They've been balling.
Yeah, I'm good on them.
26 and 27 or 27, 26, whatever it was.
I'm good. Randall, obviously, Julius Randall, Chamberlain, LeBron James. Definitely.
Yep.
Should be in the MVP category if he gets the next in top 8 seed.
Yeah. I agree with that. Nobody else that y'all can really think.
Gordon Hayward, does he make it? Did he play enough games?
Gordon Hayward, he's in the night.
Him,
He's
Julius, and
number 9
Jeremy
right now.
Grant are kind of a toss-up right now. I think they'll probably get it over Vucevic. Vucevic is like number 5 on the list for front court. So,
Huh?
Vucevic is like ranked number 5 in voting, I believe. Or no, is he not? Or that's just points. Top
Oh yeah,
top
yeah.
front
He's
court
not
line
even
points.
in. He's not even in. Well, this one. I don't know when this one. This one was the February the 11th. So this was just a few days ago. So he's not even.
Cool, yeah. But that's for like the starters. So I mean,
Yeah,
it's a
well, he's not
toss-up.
even. He's not even on the list. This is just second fan returns. Vucevic is not even on the list for this one.
Okay.
Yeah. I think Miles Turner and Capella are the guys that get like overlooked.
And John Collins. You gotta throw John Collins in there too. Miles Turner's been hurt. He's even though he's leading it in blocks. No. Anybody else that y'all can think of? I mean, obviously Jeremy Grant's on a bad team, but he's balling.
Yeah. Don't like it, but I'll take it. Not mad at it. Ooh, what about we missed out on Colin Sexton, right?
No, he's in the front court.
Oh, okay.
I mean, he's in the guards rather.
One half of Sexland, bro.
Right. The worst name in man. Oh my.
Some say the best. Depending on how much it charged.
Oh my goodness.
How much?
Yeah, I really can't think of anybody else.
That's it for me, man.
Yeah.
Jimmy Butler doesn't get in, right? Because he's been out so long.
He's number 5 on that list.
Oh shit.
Should he get in? You're right. He has been out for a long time, so I don't.
Yeah. Unless you're awarding him for last year's finals.
Outstanding performance.
Yeah, most ended. You can get in, bro.
Yeah. Andre Drummond doesn't get into this list.
Nah, he'll be overlooked again.
I got you. Yeah, I can't really think of anybody else.
That's it. Oh, Tobias Harris.
Does Tobias deserve to be on there?
I'd probably take him over Jerry and Grant. Not based on numbers, but based on just
selection.
Yeah, most important to a team.
Right.
But then again, if Jerry and Grant was on a better team, like a contender, he'd be pretty important.
True. I mean, he was with Denver. You know what I mean? We see where Denver is now. So, all right, just to recap and go over it, fellas.
Shout out to J. Cole's twin.
J. Cole's twin.
Yeah, Tobias
Harris.
And the family.
J. Cole's twin is what? That's Quinn Cook. J. Cole's twin is Twin Cook. We know this.
They're all part of the same family. You know how like Jada Kidd is part of like the Ninja Turtle clan? Look, some people that look like Ninja Turtles.
Look, man. Tobias Harris. Okay, so is Tobias Harris like their long lost cousin? Because J. Cole, Quinn Cook, and Albie Shore look like they can all be relatives.
Albie Shore.
Huh?
Said a shout out Albie Shore.
Albie Shore. He got
throwback.
Like Albie Shore is like if Anthony Davis and J. Cole.
Don't go there. Don't you dare go there.
Good, man.
Tobias is like if J. Cole never made it in rap. Just kind of went out on the forest somewhere and just
started hunting.
Yeah, hunting.
Chopping wood. He's a lumberjack.
That's more Tobias Harris. There's a family resemblance.
I'm weak. Okay, so what I was gonna ask you guys was so we can kind of narrow it down.
Yeah.
That was all the guys, particularly in the All-Star voting. If we're gonna look at just guys that are what was I gonna say? guys that should be from every winning team. We'll just say that guys that should be there from every winning team. Who are we thinking? Who are we thinking? Are there any NBA games? There should be NBA games on today, aren't there?
Yeah. Knicks should be
Pacers
playing.
and Hawks are playing right now.
Okay, Suns beat the Sixers today, huh?
Yeah.
Wow. And Devin Booker had 36, Paul had 18 and 10. Maybe I stand corrected.
Get a little pushy.
Right. Okay. So that's what I was trying to get to. From each team, I'm gonna put this down on the list, fellas. What are we thinking from each team? Top 8. Who should get a vote?
One per team or what?
One or two per team. I mean, depending on how they're doing this season. Yeah. So let's start with. I always start with the East. Let's start with the West. All right. From the Lakers. Actually, we'll start with the top. Utah. Who do we got coming out of there?
Mitchell.
Mitchell and maybe Gobert. We want to say that?
Yeah.
Okay.
I give it. To me, the most important pieces are Gobert and Conley. But I know Conley's not going to get any love, so I'll go.
He been hurt, hadn't he?
Yeah, a little bit, but I still think he's one of the most important pieces.
I got you.
But there's a couple. It's a big team.
Right, it is. Bogdanovich, Ingles are shooting. Clarkson's coming off the bench. Give him no good minutes.
It was like 50, 40, 90 Clarkson randomly.
He's balling. From the Lakers.
Obviously, AD and LeBron.
Yep. James and Davis. Okay. From the Clippers.
George and Kawhi.
Okay. From the Suns.
I'm only going to give it to CP3, but you can give it to Booker. Not mad. As long as they get somebody in there.
Yeah, probably Booker, I would say.
He's the most popular of people.
Yeah.
So
and he has bigger raw numbers.
Booker's averaging 23.8. CP3's averaging 16.9. CP3's averaging more rebounds and more assists and more steals. And he has less turnovers than Booker. And his PER is higher than Booker's too. But Booker is leading them in points.
That's most people just look at the raw stats, the points.
Right. And that's what he's leading Booker in by about 7. Leading him about 7 points. But he's beaten Booker in rebounds by 0.8, assists by 4, almost 4, steals by 0.2. He's down on blocks. They don't get blocks. And then he has 1.5 left turnovers. And he fouls less. I mean, that's assist to turnover ratio, 3.4 to Booker's 1.1. I mean, that's pretty significant. So
most people are just gonna be like, Devin Booker, I like that guy. He has a lot of points. Okay, we'll put him in.
Yeah. As far as guards from Chris Paul going in versus the rest of the NBA, he might get in. He might. I mean, he's going up against, necessarily Damian Lillard, Steph Curry, Devin Booker, and
do you think he gets like the bump because we've seen what he's done with OKC and now the Suns?
Possibly. I mean, like I said, you got to see who else he's going up against.
Yeah.
And
obviously Lillard and Curry automatically in.
Yeah, Lillard, Curry, Luka,
Luka
Booker. You know,
could be a wild card.
he could be. He possibly
They're
could
probably
be.
going to take 2 point guards and 2 shooting guards. That's likely what's going to happen because they
Probably.
typically don't go over 2.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, if McCollum was in there, they could, but since he's hurt,
Yeah, that's a cheap way out for him.
McCollum's not a point guard, but you know what I mean.
Yeah. I mean,
and
they either stack the shooting guards or stack the point guard, where it'd be like 3 point guards and maybe 1 shooting guard or 2.
Now, what is DeMar characterizes? They characterize him as guard, small forward.
Mhm.
Now we get interesting.
Right.
Kawhi,
So,
AD.
So I got that for Phoenix for the Trailblazers.
Because then DeMar is like the 4th best small forward, right? Or no? Yeah, LeBron. Oh, AD counts,
AD is a power forward, I think.
but he still counts as a front court, right? They don't count the same.
Yeah.
LeBron, AD, Kawhi,
Paul
George. DeMar's the 5th.
Zion.
Oof.
Randy Ingram. You probably have those 6 guys. Those 6 guys are probably going to go ahead of
Jokic.
Oh,
Jokic. Yeah.
This is bullshit, bro. DeMar, we love you, bro. You should have got in.
Maybe
get hosed.
There.
This shit is rigged. Want to recount?
Easy.
Do it by position.
Too soon? Too soon?
We need a recount.
Hey, this ish is rigged. Family show.
We might have to pull an insurrection, storm the NBA Capitol.
Damn. We're going there.
Go on there.
We'll there. DeMar, you should be in.
That's all. Blazers, I'm gonna say Lillard.
It sucks to leave. I mean, it stinks to leave off McCollum.
I can't put McCollum on there. I can't put McCollum on there. He's been hurt too much. Okay. So for the Spurs,
DeMar the God.
I mean, I think they're gonna get 1. So DeRozan should probably get in.
Yep.
Okay. For the Nuggets, the Nuggies.
The Nuggies, obviously, the Joker.
Jokic.
MVP candidate.
If Michael Porter Jr. wouldn't have been stupid, he might have actually had a chance to get an All-Star vote. But Jokic and
Maybe someday.
Yeah, someday. Do we think Murray can get in there?
No.
He's averaging 18.3, 4 and 4. PR is only 14.67. He actually has a lower PR than. He has a lower PR than MPJ too.
Yeah.
He actually has like the 7th PER in his team, 7th or 8th.
It's pretty overrated, bro.
Yeah.
At least this season.
Yeah. So we will not see Murray for sure.
Yeah. He's just lucky he's not getting traded.
Right.
That'll be his prize. That'll be his prize.
Right. For the Spurs. Oh, maybe not for the Spurs.
I would say DeMar.
Yeah, we already said DeMar.
I'm gonna say again, DeMar.
If Murray was averaging about 17 points, 18 points, he might have gotten a nod. DeJounte Murray, that is.
I think the Spurs were just lucky to get 1 in. Unless we were number 1, we would get them like 2.
Honestly, they should do it where the top 4 get 2, and then the bottom 4 get 1.
Right.
Yeah.
But that wouldn't be fair.
Fair in my books.
Yeah. Incentivize winning in the regular season.
Yeah. I'm all about incentivized winning.
Right.
And I would look at two-way stats. I would look at two-way stats too, but it's more about just points that flash.
Yeah.
Points, dunks, and alley hoops.
Yeah. True. For the Warriors,
Stephen.
Clay. Big boy Clay.
Oubre, Wiggins, Wiseman, Draymond.
We're just saying Curry. Clay
Yeah.
Thompson.
Yeah. Juan Descano.
Stop.
Pascal.
Stop.
I'm just saying, like, how the Warriors fans are. Like, Lakers fans probably like Kuzma, Taylor Horton Tucker's in there. Caruso's obviously in there. That's how Lakers fans are. That's how Laker fans vote.
All right, for the East. Before we get to the East, joining us
Unfortunately.
joining us here as we get to go into the East, we got that man. Oh man, he shaved.
Clean shaven.
He's shaving.
Hey,
Almost.
Don't make fun of me. I haven't had my beard this low since high school. A
Damn.
little. Look, I meant to
Since
put 8 on
freshman
the
year?
zipper and I didn't pay attention, and it was a 2.
You look like you was in high school, man.
Hey, man, got to stay young somehow, right?
Hey, welcome in, Cutman. Mr. Cutman
What's-
himself, Cutman's Corner, Danny G.
What's the word, guys? Good to see you, crew, again, man. How are y'all?
Hey, buddy.
How are you doing, man?
I'm pretty good, man. Not a fight's coming up.
Yeah, we gonna get
It's,
that.
It's fantastically cold outside, and so I got a nice excuse to stay in.
Polar Bear Club. Remember?
Hibernating, man. Hibernating.
There you go. I feel you.
Danny, we're going through the
All-Star game.
All-Star game. Who should make it? Who shouldn't? You can chime in on this one. We're doing the East. Getting ready to do the East real quick.
He's like,
I'll let you guys step ahead of me, and then I'll fill in some gaps. How about that?
Kawhi, Paul George.
So,
I mean, you can't deny they're on there.
yeah,
Paul George is playing out of his mind this season.
he was until he got hurt, and then we'll see what happens.
But it's only been a week. I mean,
My neck.
everybody gets hurt.
I'm back. I'm back.
He just needs some people to start talking crap and say that he's not going to come back good, and give him some motivation.
Hope so. I hope so, my friend.
Me too.
All right,
Otherwise,
so
you might be out of there.
fellas, going to the East. All-Stars out of the Philadelphia 76ers. Who we have?
Mr. Embiid,
Embiid. The process.
the process himself.
MVP candidate.
We don't think Ben Simmons should make it this year. Tobias.
I mean, I would give it to all three of them, but it ain't gonna happen.
What about Siakam? He's had kind of a down year, but you guys think
we're
he
going,
could?
We're going through the list.
Ah, okay.
We'll get there. We're
Pay
going team by
attention.
team.
Pay attention, bro.
You said name some names. I thought we were picking our own list. I got you.
We're going through the list.
It's not the first 48.
Top 18. So, the Bucks, number 2. We
Tom
got-
Brady.
Chris Middleton?
Wrong Bucks. Yeah. I think we got Giannis, yeah?
Yeah.
No Middleton.
Unanimous.
Yeah. Sad face.
Understand.
Sad face on Middleton.
Yeah. All right. The Brooklyn Nets.
The Holy Trinity.
Holy Trinity. That's a serious nickname right there, Greg.
The Father, the Son, the Holy Ghost.
How many games has Kyrie played this season? Does he deserve an All-Star bid?
That's what we were talking
I
about.
kind of got into it.
He's
They
played
convinced me,
18
yes.
He's played 18 games. So he's missed about a fourth of their games, but more than likely he'll probably get in. James Harden's only played 13 games.
Yeah.
So
True.
but he'll probably get in. So
I'll find a
KD,
way.
Irving, Harden, more than likely they'll all probably get in. The Celtics.
Tatum and Brown. The law offices of Tatum and Brown.
Tatum and Brown law offices. Divorce, injury, and
Call us right now. 5555 5555.
That's right. The Pacers.
Should be Sabonis and Brogdon, but it's just gonna be Sabonis.
I'm gonna put in Brogdon because he may.
Let's go, baby. Come on,
Sleeper.
Brogdon. Team Brogdon.
He may. Brogdon might, man. Brogdon might. The Hornets. They gotta have somebody.
Jordan Brand.
LaMelo. Whoa.
Jordan. We'll put Jordan in.
Hayward probably.
Yeah, I'll go Hayward.
I'm a pencil in Ball for if they had the rookie sophomore game MVP.
I don't even think they're not even doing that. They would be.
That's what I'm saying. If
This
they
would have
were
been a good year for that.
I would pencil Ball in for the MVP.
That would have been a good year for this. We would have had Keldon in.
Yeah, we would have
a
had
great
Kelvin.
game.
That would have been
It
fun.
would have been definitely a fun game.
This would have been maybe a rookie.
Yeah, I don't know if Vassell.
I don't think he has enough minutes.
He might have gotten in. Halliburton would have been in. Like that would have been fun.
LaMelo, Wiseman. That would have been fun.
Oh yeah, Anthony Edwards. Oh.
Anthony Edwards. It would have been a fun matchup.
Yeah, that would have been. Okay, so Hayward. Do we think Rozier might squeeze in? Probably not.
Nah, Scary Terry's good.
Probably not. All right, so now the Raptors.
Freddie.
Good old Siakam.
Good old Freddie. I'm everyday's barber, Freddie Van Vliet.
Van Fleet.
Siakam. Right now, Siakam is averaging 20.6 points, 7.5 rebounds, 4.4 assists.
He's really come on in the past week too.
Yeah, I feel like he just woke up maybe 4 games ago.
He woke up my fantasy team too.
Ooh. Thought you were gonna say something else.
Nah.
I was like,
this is just basketball, okay? This is not the gym. We're not talking about some.
Where are we going here?
We're not talking about some sexy weights, okay? We're just talking about basketball.
No, we're not there. We're not there to sex line yet. Still got a little time.
Hey,
It's not number 13.
Does Chris Boucher deserve an All-Star bid?
Ooh, Bobby Boucher.
He has the best PER on the Raptors team right now.
Mama said.
Bobby Boucher. Yeah, he should.
I think if he gets his assists up, because he's averaging 6.9 rebounds, 13.8 points, but he's only averaging 1 assist. If his assists were up, I think he might get it. He would get a nod. I'd love to see him on the Spurs. I really, really would.
Raptors are gonna resign him though. So
I know.
sucks.
Yep.
What's the have you guys already gone into the rumor mill of the potential Raptors trade with the Clippers?
We're doing
for
strictly
Kyle Lowry?
All-Star game, bro.
You started talking about some other stuff. That's not what
Strictly.
he's asking.
We're
You
doing
started
All-Star
talking about the Spurs and trades. I guess the Spurs are
Winning? Yes, we are winning.
but my
Extremely
Clippers
a lot.
are off limits.
So hold on. We can talk about them. Let me finish up the 8th seed, which is the Knicks. Who do the Knicks get in?
Ooh, Julius LeBron James Randle.
Julius
Chamberlain.
Randle.
Yep.
Julius Randle, Chamberlain, Bill Russell.
I would agree. So that's what we're looking at right now, and those are probably going to be most of the All-Stars. Of course, Miami, Atlanta, Charlotte will have, Butler and Adebayo possibly. From Atlanta, maybe
Trae Young.
and possibly John Collins. We'll see.
What about Bradley Beal?
Bradley Beal,
Yeah.
Russell Westbrook, they're both on the voting list right now. Zach LaVine is another one. Does Vucevic get in, even though they're not in the,
Fucci, man.
Gordon
from the
Hayward.
West? Yeah, Hayward's one of the top 8 teams. From the West, Dallas isn't in the playoff picture, but does Luka get in? De'Aaron Fox, John Morant, Zion Williamson. I mean, those are other names, that could possibly get in. I'm just talking about teams that are in the current playoffs right now. We think should get a person. Now it may not happen. Certain teams may not get in, like the Spurs. We may not see DeRozan get in, but
I mean the All-Star
is
games
bull.
haven't really been about playoff teams though too much, right? I mean the
I
All-Star
can't say
games
the other word, but it's bull.
the stars.
thank you. Say it again. Cutman.
I mean, the way I kind of look at it though is the All-Star games never really been about like the MVP. Okay, you have to have a playoff team, championship caliber team, but the All-Star game's always just been about the stars, usually popularity contest. But when you look at the top 8 teams, I don't know if I would even
Be careful.
care too much about if the team is in the top 8, especially considering middle of the season. To me, it's more about, hey, who is showing out this year?
I'm just trying to find excuses to put DeMar in, man, bro. Like I don't really care about what's going else is going on.
I mean,
all I know is DeMar should be in there, bro.
I'm sure you can go deep into the advanced stats and find a way to put him in there.
Yes, I already found his PR. I found, I'm already in there, bro. But I'm already
he could be the
deep in there, bro.
He could be the 4th or 5th backup.
Yeah, yep. He's a chance. Wild card.
Yeah, I mean, I'm from what I'm trying to remember last year. I think every single team last year that was in the playoff picture got a guy that representing their team. Am I correct?
Yeah. We just got to go 5-2, 7-0 on this rodeo road trip, and then boom. But I think the rodeo trip.
I think every team in the playoffs last year got a guy to represent them in the All-Star game, right?
Let's see.
And then he was disrespected. 82 best player.
Did Atlanta make the playoffs?
No, not last year. I know they didn't.
So Trae Young was the starter.
Right, I remember.
Siakam, Giannis, they made it. The Sixers made it, correct?
Correct. Okay, so hold on.
Yeah.
I can Pelicans. There was for the East, it was the Hawks, and then for the West, it was the Pelicans. Those are the two teams.
OKC didn't make it.
No, they didn't. Yeah.
Chris Paul wasn't in the All-Star game.
Yeah, he was. He was a reserve.
Yeah, so he was in the reserve, but
he was playing for OKC. Did they make the playoffs?
Yeah.
They're like the 5th seed.
No,
and
5th seed. You might be right.
The Suns just barely missed the playoffs, right? Because they didn't get to buy him.
Yeah.
Right. But
they were in the bubble with us. Struggles. Actually, they went undefeated, but that darn Shake Milton.
I gotta look at what the standings were around the All-Star break.
Ooh, we're doing deep dives, maybe deep dives.
I need to see I'm trying to remember what those teams were looking like through the All-Star. So that's what I would have to come back to and double check that one. Because I don't remember who was in what position. I know the Lakers were in first, and I know the Bucks were in first on their respective sides.
I feel like it was Denver too up there, top 3.
Yeah.
Clippers
in there. Boston.
The only players I can see that were from teams that basically didn't have a chance. Trae Young, Devin Booker, the Suns. They almost made it in. And then Brandon Ingram from the Pelicans. Everybody else, Jazz were what? 60? They were up there all year. The Heat, the Bucks, Celtics, Raptors.
Okay, so check this out. I remember. So Milwaukee was number 1. They had Giannis and Middleton, right? Number 2 was the Raptors. This is right at the All-Star break. The Raptors were number 2. They had Siakam and Lowry, right? Number 3, the Celtics had Tatum and Brown. 4, the Heat had Jimmy and Bam. At 5, Philly had Embiid and Simmons. 6 was the Pacers. They had Sabonis. I think the Nets were like around 7.
Yeah.
And then 8 was.
They didn't get no one.
Yeah, they had nobody.
They didn't have anybody.
I think they had Kevin Durant honorary. 8, I think 8 was the Magic, Did Vucevic get in?
Ooh, did Vucci man make it? I don't think
No,
so.
they had nobody.
Okay, so the Magic.
Nobody.
And then from the West, of course, we had LeBron, and then LeBron and AD, and Kawhi and Paul George. Denver had
Paul George
Jokic.
actually didn't make it.
Huh?
Paul George didn't make it.
Oh, he didn't make it. He didn't.
Yeah.
You're right. So we just had Kawhi. We had Jokic and Murray. Gobert was in there. I don't think was Donovan Mitchell in there too.
Donovan Mitchell was in
Yes.
there, and Murray didn't make it actually.
Murray. Oh, I thought Murray made it last year.
Booker and Damian Lillard and Mitchell and Westbrook made it
Okay.
for the bench, and then Chris Paul and then James Harden.
I know James Harden made it.
Yeah.
Who else am I missing?
Yeah, Rudy Gobert made it, and then Doncic made it.
Luka made it. They were in playoff contention, and then
And then Brandon Ingram was the other one.
yeah, I don't remember who was number 8 at that particular time. But anyway, point of what I'm saying is most of those teams got an all-star. But
It's hit and miss.
Say it again.
It's hit and miss. Sometimes there's a correlation, sometimes not.
Yeah. So I just wanted to see what it was kind of looking like around that time. So
all I know is DeMar doesn't get in, I'm boycotting.
Yeah. Depending on.
You hear me, Adam Silver?
So let's see. So sorry, I was just doing some counting here.
You got an accounting major?
What? So in the West, there was 5, 6, 7, 8.
Little pigs.
11 teams represented. Houston had 2 players. Lakers had 2 players.
Right.
In the East, there was 1, 2, 3, 4.
Didn't the Jazz have 2 players?
5.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jazz had 2 players. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And in the East, 6, 7. There was only 7 teams represented in the East. Kind of interesting.
7? There's like 8 of them.
Pacers, Celtics, Heat, Bucks, Raptors, Hawks. And yeah, that's it actually. What is that, 6?
You said we had Bucks, 76ers, Celtics, Raptors, Heat, Hawks.
Heat. That's it. And the Pacers. Did you get the Pacers?
I did. And then remember, KD was honorary because he got votes.
But he wasn't on the All-Star team though, was he?
I think he was. Him or Kyrie, one of them was, because I remember they said representing the Brooklyn Nets. So and so.
Theo Pinson.
Well, he's not technically on the roster. Okay, so 8.
Yeah. And Bradley Beal wasn't Brett. No. Somebody had to take somebody's spot, right? Somebody had to
I think it was Brandon Ingram. Was it Brandon? No.
Yeah.
It might have been.
It was Devin Booker had to take somebody's spot.
Yeah, Booker
Bradley Beal had to take
was a replacement.
Okay, Booker was a replacement for. I'm trying to remember who he was a replacement for. Oh, Lillard, because
Lillard, right?
Yeah, Lillard didn't play. Yeah.
I was thinking, I just didn't want to say that and sound dumb.
No, you're right. So technically, the whatchamacallits didn't really even have a. Trailblazers didn't have a representation, but I mean they did, but he just got hurt. So, but anyway, it's always going to be an interesting conversation because you have certain guys who deserve to be all-stars. I mean, they're putting up numbers, but they're just on a bad team. And then certain teams don't necessarily have one of the better players, like DeRozan. I mean, he's good, but he's not one of the top players in the league right now. You know what I mean? The Spurs are more of a team, rather than a superstar showing out. So, and the Jazz are essentially kind of like that too, which is kind of why it's kind of hard to just have, to put either Mitchell.
And you got the small market versus big market
Exactly.
bias and stuff.
Exactly.
How many years did the trio make it into the All-Star game at the same time?
I don't think they ever made it into the All-Star game, but once.
All three of them, not at the same time. Duncan.
I think they made it one time.
Yeah.
Greg, there G Money. There was one time they all made it.
Yeah.
One time. Other than that, Parker and Duncan made it together. Like
Parker was always in that Conley situation.
Yeah, but
they're
Parker,
like
what, a 5-time All-Star?
Big Tony. I want to say it's more than 3.
I think he was a 5-time All-Star.
They've had 75 selections in their history.
6-time.
6-time All-Star. Okay.
Big Tony.
Yeah.
Damn, all three of them, they didn't even have 1 year that they all made it. The most they had was 2: Tim Duncan and Tony Parker.
Tim
Duncan and Ginobili.
They've had a lot back in the day in like the 69, 70 season. They had 3 players.
Ginobili was 05 and 11.
75 and 76 they had 4. But
I remember when didn't the Hawks have like 4 people in there one time, and the Warriors had like 4 people in there one time too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Spurs of the East, as they called them.
Yeah, I remember that.
Millsap, Horford, Korver, Jeff Teague.
That was a weak All-Star year.
Yeah.
For the East. Jesus.
Yeah, that's interesting. I don't. Does it show that all 3 were in there that one time? But I remember seeing the video. But it was because I think Manu Ginobili was in the Rising Star or the International game or something like that. That's why they all 3 were there.
Because Manu was 05 and 11, right? An All-Star game.
Yeah, 05 and 11, and then Parker made it.
When did Parker make it?
Pretty much every other time.
Parker made it.
Oh, he didn't make it 05 or 11.
Hey, Timmy and David Robinson 3 years in a row.
Parker made it 06, 07, 09, and
2012, 2014.
2012, 13, and 14.
Yeah.
He missed Manu.
Yeah, they just missed each other. Damn, I thought they all got in there at the same time.
That's actually surprising. I would have bet money that they all 3 made it 1 year.
Yeah.
Was that his rookie year?
When the West was pretty damn loaded. I mean,
yeah, as far as guards.
Yeah.
Guards. Yeah.
Oh,
why y'all guys so mellow today, man? I came on expecting some hype, some energy. Y'all guys acting like it's a Monday evening right now.
Because they're trying to disrespect DeMar, baby.
Hey, you're sitting here disrespecting Paul George, so I don't know.
I never said anything about Paul George.
I haven't said a bad word about DeMar.
What is your Clipper news? Let's hear that.
So I saw some rumors that basically the Raptors want to make Van Fleet the primary player, so they're looking to trade Kyle Lowry, and the Clippers are a potential trade target. I don't know. I saw it on ESPN, one of those sites.
That was your first mistake.
I saw it a few times, but basically, I mean, nothing's set in stone, obviously. But
do they have the money to make that work? What's Kyle Lowry's salary?
I'm sure they
Kyle
could.
Lowry?
Mike Lowry?
Mike Lowry.
He's got to be making over $20 million.
Lowry?
I feel like he's making over $20 million.
He's making like 17, I thought.
Let's see. $30 million.
He's making 30.
Yeah.
Sheesh. So who's
Check
gonna
me.
trade
Double
him?
check. Double check
30
me.
million? Good God.
Triple check me.
Yeah, it's $30 million.
Let's go.
I'm loading up the
Trade machine. Like
the
trade your whole
machine
team.
right now. So let's
But
check this out.
he's a free agent, but they
Kyle
do
Lowry,
have
33.3 million to be exact.
that's with incentives and everything.
Yeah.
So
With 30.5 million.
See, Marcus Morris, Beverly, and Patrick
There's a-
Patterson. Boom.
there's a 500,000 All-Star incentive.
Which
So
is
making the
probably-
All-Star game is actually a pretty big deal. I mean, if 500,000 means anything to someone who just made 30 million,
Yeah.
but I mean, I like a cool cherry on top. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So obviously he's not gonna make the All-Star this year, but
You
and
could
that's
flip
why
Batum, but Batum's been playing good.
Yeah.
yeah.
And
they're
he's
not-
only got $1 million contract. I mean,
Kennard,
yeah, like
do you get rid of Kennard?
Kennard's $5 million. I mean, Marcus Morris is probably the number one. They also have a couple trade exceptions.
So
Honestly, I think they get rid of either Lou Williams or Pat Bev. Combination of Pat Bev, Lou Williams, and Marcus Morris plus a trade exception. I think that gets it done.
you get rid of both of them.
No, one or the other. Marcus Morris plus either Patrick Bev or Lou Williams.
Man, I want to keep Marcus Morris though.
Yeah, you keep Marcus Morris. You get rid of Lou Williams and Patrick Beverly.
But that won't work out salary wise. You need Marcus
That's
Morris.
21, right?
He's
that's
he's
21?
almost 15
Yeah, we
million
need
in
a
salary.
nine piece.
Why don't you throw in a couple of draft picks? Oh wait, they don't have any.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
you can't use draft picks as you still got to match the salary though.
Right, and y'all don't have any draft picks.
That's all right. We're gonna have a championship ring. Replace the draft picks, so it's all good.
That sounds like a good trade.
I mean, honestly, Kyle Lowry he's always been one of my favorite players. He's definitely underrated.
Yeah.
I don't know if I get rid of Pat Bev due to his defense. So
It's a little overrated
I
at this
mean,
point.
Larry can
what's
play
that?
defense.
get rid of Lou Williams. I mean, we got plenty of scoring, especially with Kyle Lowry. We have a true point guard.
So who you gonna put on? Who you putting Pat Beverly on the bench? Then I'm assuming.
Yeah, absolutely. Bring him as the defensive specialist.
I mean, Kyle Lowry can play defense. He takes a lot of charges. So, like,
Well, he's a solid defender, but I'm just saying I like.
What are you
Patrick
averaging? Like
Beverly's-
18 points this year?
Yeah, 17.8.
I like Patrick Beverly's tenacity. I think you need him on your team more so than you need Lou Williams, who really just provides scoring, right? Even though he went off the other night. Lou Williams is a guy. He's kind of that one guy that's just going to give that team their attitude. So I don't think you trade him.
You need that Kennard contract to kick in to $12 million this year.
Yeah,
that would have helped.
Honestly, I wouldn't mind trading Kennard. I don't like trading Marcus Morris.
It's just too valuable.
Yeah.
The two-way wing, like you're gonna need him.
Yeah.
I mean, if they could figure out a 3-team trade, get some more, they might be able to do that. I think they're gonna have to get another team to get.
But that'd be a good pickup, though. Clippers.
I mean, they got pieces. You know, I mean, there's several guys that could go, several guys that could fit in there that I think they would take for it. But
who's more valuable, Batum or Marcus Morris?
I think Marcus Morris, if you use him right.
Marcus Morris for sure.
If you use him right.
And Batum is aspiring is $29 million.
Batum, he's on a $1.6 million 1-year contract right now.
Yeah.
Right now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought he got traded.
They bought him out or something like that.
I mean, they got a Jerome Robinson $3.5 million trade exception, Landry Shamet $2 million trade exception. That they can make it work, man. I don't know. I just wanted a quick question. What do you guys think? Do you guys think the Clippers should make a go for it? Does it help?
Oh yeah, of course.
Does it increase their chances?
Of course.
Or do you have to give up too much to get them?
No, I don't think so. I think you can go. Personally, I've been on the record saying they need to trade for Kyrie. But
No, absolutely not.
quite obviously, that's not going to happen. But I think that works. But
I would definitely get Lowry, and then you can always resign him cheap in the offseason.
I would rather have Kyle Lowry than Kyrie any day. Not necessarily from the top, like building the team wise, but on the Clippers as a third star, Kyrie's gonna come and mess up the chemistry. Kyle Lowry's won a championship. He's a vet. He's a fantastic leader and fantastic person. He's gonna destroy. You don't need a Kyrie to come in and score 30 points a game. And kind of take a lot of the, he has.
You just need a role player at that point guard position that's upgrading.
You need a guy that just basically plays the role of distributor, the Derek Fisher role almost, right?
Yeah.
So I don't know.
We'll see what that looks like. Lowry, I mean, obviously Lowry would be an upgrade for sure. Like I get that.
I would hate to do it, but I'd get rid of Lou Williams for Kyle Lowry any day of the week.
Oh yeah, in a second.
They're already getting ready to get rid of Lou Williams. I think that's already.
That's what I'm saying.
In a second.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, you need to upgrade a PG for sure.
Oh yeah, without a doubt.
A shooter that's a defensive guy.
Yeah. Without a doubt.
Yep.
Now it all depends on whether Pat Beverly wants to take a step back and play that bench role.
He will.
I don't care what Pat really wants.
Pat Bev, that's what I like about a lot of these Clippers guys, even Lou Will. These guys love being the sixth man a lot of times, right? That's what kind of messed up their chemistry last year with Montrezl Harrell. He wanted a bigger role, and they kind of stifled Zubac in order to do it. Honestly, those guys, they'll be happy to take a role. See, Pat Bev, I don't see him as an issue with that.
Well, also they were tired of Kawhi and Paul George getting preferential treatment. Being late to meetings, waiting on them to go to games.
Yep.
I mean, when they're almost averaging 30 points a game, 6 assists, 6 rebounds, you should wait on them.
Yeah, I mean, there's just different ways that people think. Like if we're all the same member on a team, then we should all be accountable and held, being responsible.
Yeah, but I think that's a lot of Doc Rivers' fault, right? Like like the Houston Rockets situation. I don't really blame James Harden. I mean, he could have done a lot better, but I blame the coaches, the people around him. I mean, you got to hold your guys accountable. It's like a parent, right? Mm-hmm. You let your kid get away with this stuff. They kind of test their limits. They're going to see what they get away with. If you don't call them on it early, eventually they're going to do what they want. And then when you finally get pissed at it, you can't blame them for getting mad because you finally told them because you waited so long. And I think that's what Houston did with Harden. And I think that's why I'm glad Doc Rivers is out because
there's only certain organizations that do that. Most of the other organizations just cater to the star, whatever you want.
Yeah. I mean, I still don't see Paul George, and I mean Paul George maybe a little bit more so than Kawhi, but I don't see Kawhi taking advantage of it too much. He's pretty professional. Happy guy Kawhi.
I know. You've seen that article that came out of him?
I saw it. I don't know if I believe all of it.
I do.
I definitely believe it.
Yeah, but you guys are Spurs fans.
Yeah.
Because I'm a Spurs fan. I mean, he just goes around. He's indifferent about stuff. He's not the leader. You know what I mean?
You don't think he's a leader?
He never was supposed to be a leader.
You don't think Kawhi Leonard is a leader?
No.
He's not a vocal leader. Team. He's like, you just follow my footsteps and I'll take it.
He just goes in, does his job, and goes out.
Yeah, he's the best person on the team. Don't get me wrong. I mean, even in Toronto, he was the best person. But Kyle Lowry was the leader. Like, we all get that. So that's why with the Clippers right now, Paul George is trying to step up and be a leader, but nobody really wants to listen to him because
they've seen him flounder in the biggest situations.
Yeah, exactly.
You're like, why are we listening to this guy?
I don't know.
And actually, hold on, before you say it actually kind of sucks because when he was with Indiana, he didn't flounder in Indiana.
Oh, no.
He actually stepped to the plate. It's only been in recent years since then, coming back from the injury, that he's kind of floundered. So.
But he'd be saying some crazy stuff too, like, "Oh, that's a bad shot." Like,
well, he did.
Kawhi?
Yeah, I'm like, bro, come on.
I said that?
No, Paul George.
It probably was a bad shot.
That's a bad shot, bro. I don't know why he took it. Well, he made it, bro. I don't know. What did they tell you? He made it right in your face. I mean,
Pretty much.
say something, Chris. Say it.
Sorry
I
about
mean,
that.
you talk about the Dame shot. That probably was a bad shot. I mean, nobody else in the league would have taken that except for him and Steph. And
You know what, Chris?
if it was anybody else, they'd probably get pulled. Probably sit on the bench next game if they took
You
it.
know what, Chris? DeBar better make the All-Star team. That's all I know.
You better.
Anyway,
Right.
fellas, let's move on to this. UFC 258, fellas. Usman versus Burns. Mr. Cutman. That's what we got
Sir.
you here.
Break it down, baby. Where's my money going?
Break it down.
Where's your money going? Honestly, this is kind of a toss-up. This is one of them fights I don't know if I'm comfortable even picking today. So save your money and put it on the next event, because honestly, this is going to be one of the best fights of the year. I truly believe. Gilbert Burns is a monster. He's just like a mini beast. He came along kind of out of nowhere last year. He had 4 wins. I believe it was Fighter of the Year 2020. Basically just demolished some guys. He got his opportunity, took it. He demolished Tyron Woodley. He has the perfect skill set to beat Kamaru Usman. Kamaru Usman is, let's face it, he's a little boring, right? Apart from Colby Covington, because they both let their hands go. He has a tendency to foot stomp and wrestle. That's what he does best. Hey, when you do something better than anybody else in the world, you use it, right? But Gilbert Burns has an awesome wrestling pedigree. I believe he was a Division I wrestler. He has heavy hands. So even if Kamaru Usman does want to integrate his wrestling, there's a good chance he might not even be able to take Gilbert Burns down. And then Kamaru Usman he's a volume puncher. He doesn't really have much power. I mean, he looks like he should. He's absolutely ripped, but he really doesn't have that much power. He kind of uses his strikes to set up his takedowns. And I'm just wondering, I want to see, it's going to be interesting when Kamaru Usman tries to go for that takedown, and when he can't get it, if he can't get it, what he does and how good his chin is, because Gilbert Burns is going to test it. And so, you know what? I talked myself into it. Gilbert Burns is going to leave the octagon tonight as the new UFC welterweight champion by third round KO.
Okay. Well, I will say this. Gilbert Burns' last loss was in the lightweight, and that was to Dan Hooker, but that was in 2018. So he hasn't lost in about 2.5 years, first off.
I mean, he was a rookie. He was fresh into the UFC at that point. I mean,
right.
He was still learning.
Right,
but he's
right.
34 years old. He ain't young.
Exactly. Usman, Usman's 33. He's also about 4 inches taller than Burns.
Ooh.
And his reach is about 5 inches longer than Burns too.
Ooh.
So
honestly, I don't think that really matters too much, because this isn't a fight that's going to be fought at reach. It's not going to be fought at distance.
Length always matters, Brody. Length always matters.
I mean, it can, but also styles make fights, right? Gilbert Burns is really good at getting on the inside. Yes, he has short arms. But Kamaru Usman's never been one to really use his reach very good. I mean, you watched him against Colby Covington. He doesn't really create. He's not a great boxer, so he doesn't know how to create great space with his boxing. So he's going to get hit a lot. I don't care how much of a reach advantage it is. It's going to affect. Might
So he doesn't have a good jab or anything?
What's that? I mean, he does, but he doesn't really set up his jab. He just kind of paws it out there. He's not. I don't think he's going to be able to keep Burns from getting on the inside of him. That's the thing. Burns is going to have to get in, get that clinch game, shorten the distance. But I honestly don't see the reach advantage as being too big of a deal.
I mean, didn't Usman beat Covington by TKO, right?
I mean, yeah, it was a stoppage. He broke his jaw the round before.
Oh, that worked.
So I mean,
like he hit him.
You know what I'm saying? He broke his jaw.
He
Got
hit him with
jawbreakers over here?
200 plus punches, though. That's what I'm saying. All they did, that was the only reason that was an exciting fight is because neither one of them, the wrestling was negated because they're both outstanding wrestlers. Probably the only person, Colby Covington, is one of the only people in that division outside of Gilbert Burns. Tyron Woodley could have too, who has the wrestling to be able to negate Marty Fake Newson. And so that's why that fight, all they did was throw, because Colby Covington just throws and throws and throws. Kamaru Usman does not have power. I mean, we even
If you
saw
break
it.
somebody's jaw, you kind of got power. I'm just saying.
Mhm.
I mean, but he didn't break it off of one. He didn't break his jaw for one shot. I mean,
I get that.
you know what I mean? Like, it was just the combined effort of all the punches.
What was jawbreaker? That was Killer
Colby
Instinct, right?
Covington really wasn't hurt as many punches. Say that one more time.
I think so.
Say that again.
I was thinking like jawbreaker. Is that Killer Instinct, that move?
Oh, wait, no.
Jawbreaker.
No, that
No,
was
was that-
a boxer.
Combo breaker. There we go.
Yeah, combo breaker.
Combo breaker.
But do
Yeah.
you think if Burns forces Usman into a stand-up game, do you think his reach will play a factor into that?
No, because I think Gilbert Burns is going to be able to utilize his clinch game good, dirty boxing. I don't think the range is going to matter. Kamaru Usman is not going to be able to stay on the outside and pepper Gilbert Burns with shots. He's not good enough to be able to utilize a jab like that, right?
So
So-
here's go ahead.
Go ahead. No, go for it.
So here's my thing. Burns is fast. He gets on the inside of Usman. Usman's gonna have a hard time, trying to block. And so I think Usman will get hit. The difference, and I think the thing to me that will be the defining factor is if Usman will be able to take him on the ground with that height advantage of his. I mean, they're the same weight, but being able to, having a little of height advantage and, with the wrestling game that he will have to wear the smaller guy out, we're going to see if he's going to be able to do that. I think that he will overall be able to get in a couple of strikes. I think it's going to go the distance. I don't think we're going to see a knockout or a submission. I think it'll go the distance, and Usman will win by I think he'll either win by split or unanimous decision. It's going to be a close fight. I'm not saying by any stretch of the means that it'll be a domination, but I think Usman retains the welterweight title by split decision.
Split decision. So you think it's going to be that close, huh?
Yeah, I think it's going to be a close fight. I do.
So we got one Usman, one Burns. C-Mac, since you're the tiebreaker, you probably know us more than me.
This is a tough one, man. Tough one.
Put you on the
I
spot.
kind of like these fights where it's just wrestling, man. Like stand-up is great, but stand-up's not going to last. I mean, it normally doesn't last more than 2 to 3 rounds, because that's when it starts getting sloppy.
2 or 3 seconds. Try that.
I mean, no, stand-up can last pretty well, but yeah, like in terms of like McGregor's fight, that went by pretty quick, But these ground pound games where it's wrestling, the split decision can be the result if it's a ground game. I think Usman might get this TKO though. That's what I'm thinking in like the 4th round towards the end of it. Just slips one in and he gets Burns with the reach. But I definitely understand where Daniel's coming from, and the reach is probably not going to play a factor. But when they get tired, I think that's when the reach might start becoming an issue.
So one interesting thing about this fight is the fact that that these two actually used to be teammates. So they used to face off against each other every day. And there's video footage of Gilbert Burns piecing Kamaru Usman up.
Inside info.
One thing I don't think it will be a split decision. If it goes to a decision, I think it's Kamaru Usman probably by three rounds to 2, 4 rounds to 1. Gilbert Burns isn't going to win by outpointing Usman. That's Usman's strategy. That's how he wins. I don't see Usman really knocking him out unless he completely fatigues him. But Gilbert Burns is looking for the power shot. Gilbert Burns has a lot of power in his small frame. He's looking for the power shot. If he, it's basically going to be just like Street Jesus, Kamaru Usman's last fight. Pretty much just like that, except with much better wrestling and a lot more time to prepare, and actually a little bit more rounded game than Masvidal has. But yeah, I don't see Usman knocking him out, except for maybe with the lucky punch. I see him taking him down, grounding and pounding him, pushing him up against the cage, hitting him with foot strikes, and basically wearing Burns down and just getting that decision. And I don't see Burns being able to have enough volume and success on the feet. Like if he has enough success on the feet, he's probably going to knock Kamaru Usman out before he takes it to a decision.
Yeah. It'd be interesting to see if Burns will be able to. I mean, as we know, when the smaller guy, if you have a bigger guy, you want to take away his legs. Like that's what you want to be able to do is take away the taller guy's legs. So Burns is able to do that because even though you have reach, that doesn't necessarily have to do with your feet. Then he'll have a better shot of frustrating Usman and making Usman try to take him down in order to get that KO punch. So that's another big factor to see. So between that and seeing if Usman will be able to take him down and not be rushed, because if Burns flusters Usman will get knocked out if he tries to rush in and try to take him down like that. So,
hey Robinson.
Yeah, G Money, go ahead. Give me your take, man. What do you think?
I'm just listening. I'm learning a lot. Trying to throw this all in. My interesting fact is Usman's the favorite. Vegas has money on Usman.
Yeah, he is. A minus 270, right?
Yeah.
To Burns plus 220.
Yeah. So I was hoping you would pick, both of y'all would pick Usman, Burns, so I can put some money on it. But now it's 2-1.
This is one fight where I wouldn't put money on. Wait until the.
But that's when you put money on it.
G money. I'd put money. If I were you, I would put a hundo on
tomorrow to make the All-Star team.
I put a hundo on the champ.
Oh, okay.
I think I would. I think I put a hundo on the champ. Lately, we've been watching, because you got to think about this too. A lot of these fights lately, like we've seen some guys who were fan favorites, but they weren't necessarily the higher ranked fighter, even though, as Cutman says, rankings they don't necessarily matter too much sometimes, but we've seen champions remain champions and defend their crowns as of late, and I think the trend will continue tonight.
I know Usman, he just defended his title in his last fight, so.
Right.
Quick question: if Usman wins, he's the champion. Where does it go?
There's a lot. There's a lot of steps you can take. Basically, there's a line right now at 170. Right, you got Leon Edwards, who's I believe he's won 9 or 11 fights in a row. You also got Street Jesus Jorge Masvidal, who's itching to get back into there. Colby Covington, he's a win away. It's kind of a logjam. There's a lot of guys that they can get a title shot, but they need to kind of separate themselves. But there's no shortage of opponents for Kamaru Usman. He's not going to be going up.
Leon Edwards, right?
What's that?
You said Leon Edwards?
Yeah, Leon Edwards. I mean, he hasn't lost. He just kind of has some bad luck.
He's about to fight your guy on the 13th, Chimaev.
Yes, I forgot about him. Well, that fight got canceled, so I forgot about Chimaev too. He's the ultimate wild card. That guy with 1 or 2 more big wins, he's getting that title shot too, just because he's on such a meteoric rise. But Chimaev, he had complications from COVID, I believe, and he was talking about it yesterday in an interview. He said he felt like death. That's a tough Russian dude from the Eastern Bloc who, he's not going to step out of a fight unless he absolutely needed to. So I wish Chimaev a speedy recovery, and let's see who they put Leon Edwards against. That's the thing. Nobody wants to fight Leon Edwards.
So Leon Edwards' last loss was in 2015, and that was against Usman.
Well, you also got to count the 2-piece in the soda that Jorge Masvidal gave to him. I'd put an L in his book for that.
Right, but I mean, he's on a 8-fight win streak.
Yeah, But I'm talking about when Jorge Masvidal walked over after an interview and punched him in the face.
Yeah, I remember that. But on the official, Matt, because Edwards did not fight in all of 2020. Chimaev would have been his first fight since July 20th of 2019. So it's been close to 2 years since the dude has fought. I mean, the Chimaev one would have been, but
So here's what I do.
that got canceled.
I go Colby Covington versus Jorge Masvidal. That's the ultimate grudge match. Those two hate each other. And then also another guy who nobody wants to really fight right now is Neil Magny. He's on a long-term winning streak. Put him up against Leon Edwards. Keep him busy. If Leon Edwards wins that, as he should, Neil Magny's a pretty tough opponent. And that would be a big step up in the rankings. But if Leon Edwards wins that, then give him the Chimaev fight or give him the title shot. He's kind of earned it if at that point.
Right. So I'm reading. Jen, not to cut you off. Not to cut you off. I'm reading that Edwards and Chimaev were supposed to fight in December. Now I have something where a date is set for March the 13th.
No, but Chimaev bowed out of that fight.
Oh, I thought he bowed out of the one from what I was reading. From
they scheduled it in December. They scheduled that fight in December. I don't think. That's what it was. Leon Edwards got COVID in December, and so.
Edwards. Okay.
And then Chimaev, it was rescheduled to January 20th, and then Chimaev got COVID, and then so he's still dealing with the fallout from that. So. It's already been kind of pushed back 3 times now, so hopefully that fight happens. But I say give Leon Edwards somebody in between.
Okay, now I see.
I think they're looking to bring somebody in, but who knows, man? I want to see Chimaev. I want to see him go undefeated and win the title, and be the next big Russian star.
Right.
Marshall and Chris, who do you want to see? Usman fight if he wins?
I mean, that Covington was talking a lot of trash, so I think seeing him would be probably a next one. Then a actual prepared Masvidal would be another fight I would want to see, because that first fight he took that on such short notice and he just looked tired. So I want to see him actually prepared and given a second shot. That would be the real fight. So I would probably have to say Masvidal and Covington. Those would probably be my 2.
So the 2 people he's already beat?
Yes. Although Covington, he broke his jaw, but Masvidal, he beat him, but it's like that was on such short preparation. Let me see him when he's got time to prepare the full however much time it's supposed to be, and then we'll see what goes down.
No excuses, though.
That's why I think it's perfect. I think it's a perfect move to fight each other, don't you think, Chris?
You said no more excuses?
Yeah, there's no excuses. I don't think they would say that either.
What do you want to see, Chris?
You saying from the first fight or from the second one?
No, from the first one. You're saying that you need more time to prepare. So,
they would say no excuses, but I'm just saying to give Masvidal the same amount of time of preparation and whatnot as Usman to prepare for him, this, that, and the other. I think the fight might be a little bit different. I'm not saying Masvidal would win, but you never know. He just looked tired. You can physically see he just looked tired and drained from that first fight for how much weight he had to cut so quickly. Let's see him have an opportunity to cut the weight at the proper time, and I think we might see a different and a better fight.
Remix.
But that's what I'm saying. I'm saying Masvidal and then Covington.
Couple quick questions, man. It's been a little while since I've been able to chat UFC with you guys. So there's a couple topics that I have been kind of chopping at the bit to ask for. So,
y'all
guys throw it in?
Can I ask you the first one?
Quickest answer wins 100 internet bucks. Best answer wins 200. So this is I'm just gonna throw some stuff out there. Frankie Edgar last weekend, hard to watch. He got knocked out for the first time in his career. Is his days over? Should he retire? Or does he still have a let's just say, a case for continuing his career and fighting a few more fights. So should he hang it up?
Yeah, Corey Sandhagen knocked him the hell out. That was pretty bad. Edgar needs to hang it up. He needs to hang it up.
Chris?
That's difficult. If it's something he loves, I definitely understand the need and the drive to continue it. But
hey, Randy Couture was almost 50 when he won the heavyweight title.
Right. So
that's heavyweight. They slower. This is freaking bantamweight. Quick little mother chuck.
All right, Chris. I think we're colluding to try to make sure that you don't get a word in on this.
D-Mac, go ahead. I'm sorry.
You're fine. I mean, honestly, it's fighting, man. Like you can be in it as long as you want to, and as long as you're passionate about it. As long as you're able to keep up in the training, you should be able to stay in.
According to Dana White and what's his face, Anderson Silva, he's like, I'm not ever gonna let him fight again.
Yeah, but Anderson Silva won one fight in 6 years.
Hey, if you love doing it, and you can still do it, right?
Honestly, I think Frankie Edgar just got caught. I don't think that he really.
So he's lost 3 out of his last 4.
He's lost 3 out of his last 4, but he's also faced
Holloway, Jung,
Ortega, and
Jung,
and now Sanderson. I mean, Holloway should be the champion right now. Ortega was the first guy to actually finish Edgar. He's gonna fight for the title. And Jung, he's always been a contender. I believe Edgar beat Jung, correct?
No, he lost.
KO, TKO.
Yep, round 1.
Round 1.
First round.
You're talking about that was against Sanderson. He didn't get KO'd against
Chan Sung Jung. Yeah, he got KO'd in the first round. 318.
I'm gonna have to go back and rewatch that fight.
Yep.
December 21st, 2019.
Yep. He did win last year against Pedro Munoz by decision. But I mean,
he hasn't looked bad in any of his losses.
So what's his issue? He's just not as good as the other people?
I mean, he faces the top guys in that division. Every single time he goes out, he fights killers. He's been fighting for 15 years already in the UFC almost. I think you got to put him up against guys his age and guys his, I don't think you put him up against the top 5 of the division. He's not a title contender anymore. Put him up against guys that provide a good show, kind of like a over 30 crowd, right? He don't need to fight the killers anymore. That's not his style, but I think he still has something to give.
So he's serviceable.
yeah.
What's that? Serviceable.
Oh yeah,
I don't know if I said that right.
I think it's kind of like Donald Cerrone at this point in his career. Not a contender, but you could still kind of like put him up for a good show. That's the way I see it.
Agree, Daniel? Disagree?
I agree.
Yeah. So
I agree.
What's the second question?
All right, second question. Me and Marshall kind of went round and round about this, and this is a question you could answer, Greg.
I don't think so, but go ahead.
You absolutely can answer this. I'm
waiting
with bated breath to hear your opinion.
Very doubtful.
John, I'm gonna say the identical here. John Jones.
Oh, this is Marshall's question.
This is a me
Dana
question?
Dana White announced this. I'm building up anticipation. Dana White announced this week that John Jones is going to fight the winner of Francis Ngannou versus Stipe Miocic for the heavyweight title. Now, I feel comfortable speaking for my cohort Marshall Best, who is vehemently against that. He thinks that John Jones needs a win in the heavyweight division before he gets the automatic title shot. Me, I say give it to the man. Don't waste time. Don't wait for an injury or a fluke accidents. Throw him in there. I think he's done enough in his career that he deserves it. So what say you, Greg and Chris and Marshall? State your case. Does John Jones deserve an immediate title shot at heavyweight?
I'll go last. Go ahead, C-Mac.
Why or why not?
Let's see, Mac, you go first.
Typical order. What is the case against it? I don't see a case not because the only case I see that's against it is because he hasn't fought anybody in the heavyweight, right? And I mean I get it, but the man is arguably one of the best fighters UFC has ever seen, MMA seen, right? I think he's deserved it, and he's definitely won most of his fights in his career to prove that and back up his case. So, I mean, I get where you're coming from that he needs to prove himself in the heavyweight, but his legacy proves himself enough and justifies that.
Okay. What I would say is when he fought DC, Daniel Cormier, it was at what? Light heavyweight?
205.
205. So I would have liked to see him fight DC on heavyweight, and let's see how he, fares as far as the difference in the weight. I understand that, Cutman was talking about Jones already kind of walks around at a heavyweight weight already. And then kind of goes down to would go down to a light heavyweight. But
he walks around. He used to walk around at about 235 in the off season.
Right, in the off season. So I don't know how we'll see how he looks fighting against the winner of Ngannou, Miocic. I'm not saying that his skills aren't there because of course he's a fighter. He has the skills to take down damn near anybody. I just say that if you're in a particular division and you're going to move up, you need to fight at least one guy before you get a shot at that title. And depending on how you do with that would be,
why?
It's like a tune-up fight. It's like a welcome to
that's boxing. That's boxing standards you're talking about. It's not MMA, right? UFC. That's not how it works here.
But I think it should be. Why? I think it should be with anything. Yeah, you talking about if you have a fluke fight, if you're, this guy and you're that great, then you should have no problem taking a tune-up fight in before getting to the championship. You shouldn't just automatically come from another division and get a shot at a championship in heavyweight right off the bat. No, you got to fight somebody else first and then get your shot. I don't like that.
Why though?
He's a title. He holds a title already. That should be good enough.
Okay, so
I interest you in an Overeem versus John Jones fight.
Interesting, but no reason for it.
Derek Lewis, John Jones.
I think. Are you
kidding me? Derek Lewis will get tired walking up the steps.
Yeah, Derek Lewis is too slow.
Well, I got nothing.
Who would you like to see a matchup against now? DC on a fantasy. There's no one out there that's a good enough even match right now, other than
Blades with a Y. Curtis Blades. Blades with a Y.
Nah, not a big enough matchup.
I'm looking at it. He's talking about big enough matchups money wise, right?
Oh, okay.
But I like where your head's at, Greg. I like how you're naming these because honestly, there's no point in bringing John Jones to heavyweight, risking him losing and your cash cow. But also, you got to think this is an event. His first heavyweight fight, that's going to be a pay-per-view. You need a caliber heavyweight to headline a pay-per-view. Mm-hmm. Overeem just lost. What are you going to have, Alexander Volkov? Come on now.
Actually, I wouldn't be opposed to seeing that. That would actually not be a bad fight. Would he win? Volkov probably would lose. But I mean, the three guys that I would probably say before would be Overeem, Volkov, and then maybe Rozenstruik, even though I know that's probably the worst matchup against.
Rozenstruik is the only one that I would be like okay with.
Too young, because look at what Ngannou did to him real quickly. I don't think he's no, I wouldn't.
Yeah, but John Jones is not Mike Tyson though. Like that would be an interesting fight because Rozier is a big heavyweight. John Jones is not going to necessarily be able to overpower him. He's going to actually have to use some skills, right? He's the only one that gives John Jones a challenge outside of Miocic or Ngannou. Marshall, come on now. Okay, you gotta
I don't think so. I don't think. Well, no. Look. I'm looking at when the last time I saw Rozier fight when he went up against Ngannou.
Mm-hmm.
Ngannou knocked this man out pretty easily, right?
Yeah, but Ngannou knocks everybody out pretty easily.
Okay, but what I'm saying is, so if you're saying he knocks out everybody pretty easily, then why the hell, if he wins, is John Jones getting the opportunity to go up and fight him, at the championship level? If anything, you could say the loser of Stipe Ngannou fights John Jones.
But then who's Stipe gonna fight in between that?
The loser, Stipe, whoever wins or loses. So you're saying Stipe is gonna win? That's what you're saying.
No, I'm saying okay.
He said who's Stipe gonna
fight?
No,
because you said Ngannou Jones. So
no, I said okay. The winner of Stipe Ngannou. I mean, the loser of Stipe Ngannou should fight Jones. That's what I'm saying. That would be.
Here's why. Because Jones fights the winner, that's a fresh fight. Ngannou's will already have fought Miocic 2 times. Okay, if he wins now, you got a rubber match. So let's say Ngannou wins, right? Now you got the biggest fight on the planet, 1.5 million pay-per-view buys easily. Just tons of press, tons of money, everything. Let's say John Jones wins that fight, then now he gets Miocic. Miocic wins, beats Ngannou. Okay, now we don't want to see that a third time. So why would you have John Jones fight Ngannou? Let's say Ngannou beats Jones. What's he gonna do? Fight Miocic the third time, and after he's just lost 2 in a row to him?
Okay, let me ask you a question. Welterweight, right? Let's say Kamaru Usman wins welterweight, right?
So he defends his title?
Correct. Let's say he wants to go up to middleweight. Does he automatically get a shot to fight Adesanya?
Yes, absolutely. That's how it goes.
Hell no!
If the champion moves up, you get an automatic title shot.
Oh my God, Marshall.
Conor McGregor got the automatic title shot.
And shouldn't have. Hell no. I don't think they deserve automatic title shots, man. You can talk,
but it's not really an automatic. It's not like John Jones has proven he's worthy of a title shot.
I get it, but he's proven it in a different division. Just because you proved it in one division doesn't mean you get to put it in another one.
That's like saying the East and the West should not meet up in the finals and play each other because it's 2 different divisions. Like no, like a couple like
no.
15.
This is like me. Listen,
hear me out.
This is like me saying that
50 to 20 pounds does make a difference, yes, but they can easily move in between those ranks when they're fighting in other like wrestling or MMA, like that. There's a little bit of a difference, but it's not a greater significance where the champion of this one, the middleweight, and the champion of the welterweight can't fight each other for the title. Like,
okay, let me ask you a question.
Happen.
Let me ask you a question, Cena. Let me ask you a question. So let's just say a Division II team wins the title. I'm talking about like a basketball title, right? In Division II, in NCAA basketball. Do they now get an opportunity to go up and have a title shot against the, like a Kentucky, whoever won the championship team that year? A Division?
Yeah, but that's like a Bellator champion coming in and getting an automatic title shot in the
UFC. It's essentially the same thing.
No, Bellator is Division 2 and UFC is Division 1. Sorry.
I got you. Fine. But what I'm saying is it's essentially 2 different weight classes.
So Marshall, right? Division 3 NCAA basketball teams play Division 1 regularly. You know that, right?
And they get waxed.
Sometimes they win though. Sometimes they
rare win. That they win. They get waxed.
Okay, so
Division
Just going
two,
off your
division-
point,
but-
like
Division 2 and 3, that's a talent difference. That's not a weight difference.
But I'm talking about
So-
Division 2 against Division 1.
Okay.
It's essentially
So
a weight.
here's a better comparison. Tell me if I'm off on this. Boise State. But back when they were killing them, BYU undefeated season,
All right, them TCU, I remember.
and they never got they nobody wanted to put them up against the champions, right? Same
Right.
talent level, same what's called level, undefeated. Everything's the same except for their conference, right?
Right.
Kind of the same thing here in the
The
UFC.
whack.
Right. The WAC
So-
versus the big ones. Yeah.
Boise State beat Oklahoma, right?
Statue of Liberty.
Should Boise State undefeated season get a shot to compete for the title?
No. No.
They won the Fiesta Bowl.
Kellen Moore.
Congratulations.
They beat Oklahoma. They went undefeated. How should they not get a chance to prove they're the best?
Congratulations that you went. There were still about another 9 teams that were better than them, even though they went undefeated. Yeah. Man. It's just like me saying, I remember when TCU beat Ohio State in, was it the Sugar Bowl or something like that?
So how many heavyweights are better than John Jones?
How many heavyweights are better than John Jones? Necessarily, I'm not going to say that they're better skill-wise.
How many heavyweights do you think can beat John Jones? Would you put ahead of him in the rankings? And I want you to think honestly. I don't want skill. I don't want it theoretically. How many heavyweights are better than John Jones and should be ahead of him in the rankings?
3.
Who?
I would put Stipe. I would put Ngannou, and
Fighting for the
I would
title.
probably put. He's low right now. I think Overeem could get him
Overeem just lost to Volkov. He's lost 3 of his last 5 fights.
to Volkov. That would be interesting because Volkov is tall. I don't know if Volkov has necessarily the skill.
But is Alexander Volkov better than John Jones?
Skill-wise, no.
Okay, so why even put that fight together?
But you still could because it would be an interesting fight. Length, somebody that's like freaking 6. How tall is Volkov? Like 6'8"?
Dang.
Something John Jones has not really seen.
Paul George out there.
So John Jones has an 84.5-inch reach.
Okay.
What's that in centimeters?
And you can't put me on the spot like that, man.
I'm just kidding. Dude, John Jones 250?
That's it's I think 210 centimeters.
Gotcha.
No, I was gonna say like John Jones is 250 pounds right now.
Yeah,
Yeah. I think
Jesus.
I mean he's right up there. It's not like he's.
Well, his family's big, right? All his brothers and stuff. He's a naturally.
I mean, and they're all
NFL athletes.
My thing is
NFL
just
athletes.
him being slower than what he normally is at the 205. Fighting at a heavier weight set, man. I mean, it's just gonna be different.
Think it's gonna be Trunks. Gonna go Trunks. Or Trunks got too big. Couldn't fight
I
himself.
don't honestly. I think John Jones is going to look better at heavyweight than he did at light heavyweight. So Stephen Struve, 84.5-inch reach.
I mean,
Francis Ngannou. Honestly, Francis Ngannou has the same reach that John Jones does. None of the other heavyweights have a reach. Volkov has an 81-inch reach, and John Jones has an 84.5-inch reach. So John Jones basically is only 3 inches shorter, and he has a 2-inch longer reach
John Jones
than Volkov.
John Jones is 6'4".
That's what I'm betting. I'm checking the stats right now.
I was like 6'2".
He's 6'4".
He's 6'4", and then Volkov is like 6'8".
84.5-inch reach. Actually, he has the tie for the longest reach in the UFC with Stephen Struve, who's 7 foot tall,
Yeah, he has the reach, that's for sure.
and he has the size though too. 6'4", 250. I mean, look at his frame at 205. I mean, he's skinny.
Yeah.
Yeah, Volkov's 6'7".
He's
250.
been loading up on the penis pills, so you know he's going coming big. I don't know.
And
I
Went
just think
sturdy.
Blades. I don't know. Blades might get him a decent fight. I'm not saying he's gonna beat him.
I just think that it's like having Money Mayweather say, okay, no, you can't move up to fight Canelo for the title. You can't move up to fight this for a title. You have to fight somebody first. Or hold up, Manny Pacquiao, you can't fight Money Mayweather yet because you have to fight, prove yourself in that division first.
I'm saying Mayweather. I mean, he's a champion, right? If he moved up to fight, let's say, who's next? If he were to move up and wait to fight Triple G, he would lose. Agree or
But you
disagree?
wouldn't give him the but that's like saying, oh no, you can't fight Triple G. You got to fight a guy who's ranked lower first, just because we got to see what you look like in that division.
Absolutely.
You must not like seeing big fights.
It's not about seeing big fights, man.
It is. It's just this is a business.
It's called prize
Don't
fight.
fight in the dog.
It's a business.
For you guys, I get that. It's about seeing the big fights. For me, it's like seeing if a guy can prove himself first. Prove yourself.
He has proved himself.
25
You contradict yourself.
Prove yourself. No. Listen, prove yourself in a different weight class.
So when someone moves weight classes, they go back to 0-0.
Not necessarily all the way at the bottom, but you don't get to go
they have
all
to
the
prove
way.
themselves. They have to prove
But you
themselves
don't-
in that weight class. So they should
don't have to
automatically go to 0-0. None of their fights previously matter. If they
I'm
have to
not
prove
saying
themselves.
you don't get a chance to go to the top. You have to prove yourself in a fight somewhere in the mid to the top. Not all the way at the top, though. You don't get that title shot.
But why? That's what I don't get. Why?
Because you're moving from either a higher weight class to a lower or a lower
but what does that
higher.
matter though?
You have to take on the different weight class, whether that be power, speed, whatever. The difference in the weight, one makes you more tired. If you put on, you take off weight, you might feel a little bit lighter. One, if you put on more weight, you're going to feel, a little bit heavier, bulkier than you are at a lower weight. I mean, look at Canelo. Canelo went down to fight Mayweather. If Mayweather went up to fight Canelo, I don't think he's winning that fight. It may be a great
But he's getting the
fight.
automatic shot.
I'm saying it may be a great fight. Fine, I get it. I'm just saying, for me, I don't think that those guys in a lower or higher weight class, whatever, should just automatically get a chance to have a title fight. That's all that I'm saying.
So here's my counter argument. I think
There is no
in a normal
counter.
circumstance, no. If you have one title defense, like Conor McGregor, he shouldn't have gotten that shot, right? But if you've cleaned out your division, it's almost like a courtesy. BJ Penn did it. George St. Pierre got he shouldn't have gotten the fight against Bisping then?
No, because he was in the winter soldier.
What was his
Respect.
What was his superhero name? It was like Barracuda.
Definitely not that.
Something. I don't know. Anyways, but okay, so George St. Pierre didn't deserve to fight for the middleweight title?
I'd have to go back and watch that fight because I don't remember what he moved.
No, but in your opinion, he shouldn't even been in that fight because he didn't have a tune-up fight first at 185, right?
Because he moved from what? What did St. Pierre move from?
From welterweight 170.
He moved from 170, 150. Yeah, no, I still think they need to fight a fight.
If Khabib wants to come back and wants one fight at 150 or at 170, you don't give him an automatic title shot against Kamaru Usman. You put him up against somebody in the middle of the pack first.
I'd put somebody in the top 5, but not an automatic championship fight. That's what I'm saying. I'm staying consistent.
Damn.
I get what you're talking about. It's gonna make a great money fight. This, that, and the other. Okay, cool. If they do it, they do it. Fine. I'm just saying, I don't think that they should get that opportunity to go for a title fight right off the bat. That's all I'm saying.
Greg, this requires no knowledge of MMA to even do it. This is just fan thing.
You're calling me in, baby. Let's go.
So what do you think, man? As just someone who also, hey, you like watch people punch each other in the face. You
Preferably
get
not
the
me.
dynamics of the sport. What do you think, man?
I can see both arguments. I mean, I can see where Marshall's coming point of view, where he wants someone to at least get a fight to, like, I guess, legitimize them a little bit, and maybe not just jump the line of people. But I also, as a fan, just want to see the best fights, so I could care less about the line. But that's just my opinion on things.
The line is superficial. It's not real.
Like, I would just get John
Yeah.
Jones on a bunch of steroids and let him go hammer town on everybody.
Yeah.
But that's just me. That's just me.
I guess the way I see it is John Jones.
Do all the cocaine steroids you want, buddy. Let's go.
The all drug Olympics.
That's where I'm at.
I was talking. Speaking of outside of professional sports, I was talking about that with my buddy earlier today.
Cocaine?
Steroids.
Oh, okay.
As a strength coach, we were talking about, okay, why
That's
don't
why
they
he cut
just
his beard so he can
legalize? Why don't they just legalize steroids in sports? And the slippery slope of that is if you say, okay, yeah, you guys could take performance enhancers, we'll watch you, blah 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 blah. Now it becomes that in order to, if you're in high school, in order to be anything in college and the pros, you have to eventually take steroids, or you have to start it. So it becomes a slippery slope. I don't know why I brought that up. I just thought it was an interesting topic. That's why steroids will never be allowed in professional sports.
True.
Fair.
It becomes the barrier of entry.
Yeah.
Fair. Well, this was some good UFC topics and talks. I like it. We want to switch gears. Cut, man, I don't know if you can stay. It's the last quick thing that we're talking about is with the NFL.
Quickie.
It's gonna be quick.
I'm in.
All right. So I want to talk about JJ Watt. He was released from the Houston Texans, right, upon his request. Where do you guys think he is going to go? It's two questions. Where do you think he's going to go, and where do you think the best fit for him would be? Mr. Cutman, we're going to let G Money start.
Where do I think he's gonna go?
Where do you think is the best fit for him?
Where I think he's gonna go, I think he's gonna go to Green Bay,
Okay.
or the Steelers, one of those two. Where I want him to go, I want him to go Tennessee. I want him to go to San Diego. Obviously, Bosa and JJ Watt would be fire.
Mm-hmm.
Clowney and JJ Watt would be fire.
I mean, they tried it in Houston already, but Clowney kept getting hurt.
Yeah, the remix, baby, with Vrabel.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean Bosa and Clowney. I mean Bosa and JJ Watt would be fire too.
Right.
Yeah. So that's where I would want him to go, somewhere like that.
All right. C-Mac.
You might have to
Man,
unmute
it's
yourself
tough.
first. Yeah,
This is. I know. I was trying to check on the stats. This is tough because honestly, I think he might end up with the Bucks.
Oh yeah.
Because Brady will pick him up and say, "Get in my bandwagon, let's go."
Shaq Barrett's a free agent.
Mm-hmm. I do see him potentially going to the Packers, but I think if we can scrounge up enough cash, he might land and stay in Texas and head down
Not coming to
to the Dallas Cowboys.
Only problem with that is they took off the weed ban, so Gregory's fine.
Still,
We might lose Alden Smith though.
we could use the help.
No, we need linebackers that can cover. We need inside. It's a whole bunch of things.
Yeah.
JJ Watt would not help us. I mean, he'd be great. Don't get me wrong.
It would help,
we
but
got
it
issues.
wouldn't
We
save
got
us.
some issues.
It
Yeah.
wouldn't save us, yeah.
Right. Cutman.
Oh, I just gotta say, man, this is
Cowboys
crazy. Before I say where he's gonna go, I gotta say what the hell is Houston doing? Oh my goodness!
Oh, we're
Someone
gonna
cancel
get
it.
to that. We're gonna get to that.
But
It's called nuking your franchise.
Yeah, it's called making all the wrong choices.
And all
I think he's going to Pittsburgh. He's going to go link up with his brothers. How many opportunities do you have to play with your brothers in the most high-profile sports league on the planet? I think he's going to take less money to go there.
Yeah.
And if he doesn't go there, Tennessee, just like Ray said, I would love to see him in Tennessee.
Right. Okay. The best fit for him, I think would actually be in Pittsburgh alongside of his brother. That linebacking core would be crazy. And I think that would assuming they can all stay healthy, which I think that they will, push Pittsburgh probably to get back at least to the AFC Championship game. That's what I would see particularly happening. Their defense would be, they'll hopefully get some guys on the secondary.
It's all about Big Ben.
Can he be? We got to see what Big Ben's going to be able to do. But I think they could. I think that seeing the Watt brothers go at it would just be insane. And
that'd just be a bucket list kind of thing for him.
Yeah, and they would definitely make opposing QB scared. So we'll say that. Well, where do I think he is going, though? The Packers. I think he is going to go to Green Bay, play with Aaron Rodgers and the crew.
I was wearing a Wisconsin sweatshirt when he was talking.
Right. So
keep your third eye open.
Mm-hmm. Right. So that's where I think that he is probably going to go is Green Bay.
Sleeper? The Browns?
Ooh.
Him and
Myles Garrett?
Sleeper would actually be Seattle for me. They end up going to Seattle. That would be my sleeper team. So, that's the other thing I was going to ask you. Deshaun Watson wants to be traded. I mean, DeAndre Hopkins is no longer there. I mean, why did Houston self-destruct, guys?
Because Houston's cursed.
They gave the coach the GM position. And he decided to trade everybody.
Because they hired Bill O'Brien. That's what you get.
They hire a bunch of Patriot people. That's not Bill Belichick.
But you know what I saw that was super interesting. The new head coach that they recently hired, is absolutely terrible. Why? How did he even get hired?
I forgot who their new head coach is.
So he was the Chiefs wide receiver coach back in 2014, the same year that the Chiefs wide receivers did not score a single touchdown the entire season. David Culley is the new coach. And then who was the worst passing offense in the NFL this year? The Ravens. Who was their coordinator? Hey, same guy, David Culley.
Good decisions.
Yeah. Look, I mean, he's pretty much the offensive Mike Nolan. Why the Cowboys hire Mike Nolan? You know what I mean?
Because we're getting Aaron Rodgers in 2 years.
Hell no. I mean, we let him
keep your third eye open.
You're getting Tom Brady in 2 years when he wants to finish off his career in style.
Yeah. We're getting Tom Brady at 45.
I think Houston is going through the you cheated Astros, so the rest of your franchises get screwed.
Ooh, the bad karma argument?
Bad karma argument.
Astros cheated, fell apart. Houston Rockets fell apart. And now
the Texans fell apart.
Now poor Texans.
Yeah. I mean, the Astros are actually
Travis Scott.
Yeah, the Astros are actually, I mean, they could still possibly win games and still get into the playoffs. They just probably won't win the Super Bowl. They probably won't win the World Series anytime soon.
I mean, they almost did this year, but last year.
So, I mean, it's just looking bad in Houston. The Texans are bad because after the McNair father passed away and the son took over, they kind of became a symbol of it kind of became similar to the Lakers franchise. I mean, was Dr. Bus died, Jerry Bus died, and then Jim took over, and you see how bad the Lakers were. So I mean, this is kind of like that.
Jim,
Genie took
Jenny.
over.
Genie Bus wasn't too bad though.
Genie Sarah.
No, Jeannie took over after Jim Bus finally let her run things, but when Jim was running it, the Lakers were bad. I mean, it's kind of the same thing with the Texans.
Pulled in Palinka.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's what it is with that. I mean,
Donskis.
it's just not looking good. The last one, should the Cowboys trade for Deshaun Watson?
No. Why?
Why?
I mean, if I'm Houston, I absolutely offer Deshaun Watson for Dak Prescott straight up. Because he's leaving anyways. I absolutely try to get that trade. Why would the Cowboys do that?
Why would the Texans want Dak, a worse quarterback, for more money?
Because Deshaun doesn't want to be there. So at least you still have a starting caliber top 15 good quarterback, right? I'd rather have Dak.
That we haven't seen after 2 surgeries.
Yep.
I'd still
line.
make that trade. If
And we
Deshaun
have no
Watson
line.
wants out, if Deshaun Watson wants out, I still make that trade.
Like the trade the Houston Rockets made, man. They James Harden didn't want to be there, so they traded him. Was it a good trade? Not necessarily. I mean, they just had to make it.
As Cowboy fans, you want Deshaun Watson, and would you give up what it takes to get him?
For Dak, I don't see that's a negative.
I don't.
What's your answer,
I don't see
C-Mac?
them pulling the trigger though, but I honestly think Deshaun Watson is way better than Dak Prescott.
He's better than Dak Prescott, that's for sure. What would you have to give up? A couple draft
3 first rounders, Michael Gallup, and possibly a second.
Along with Dak?
No, not along with that.
Oh.
If they would want Dak, then it'd be different. But I don't think they even want Dak.
No, I'm
I think
saying
they
with
would.
Dak, I don't think
I would just rebuild if I was them.
I don't think you could do it straight up. I know the salaries are close. I think you might have to Cowboys might have to give up a pick.
It'd be Dak and at least 2 first rounders.
I think it would be Dak, a first rounder, and a second. I don't even think it would be 2 first rounders.
Let's not forget Houston's desperate. They need to get rid of him.
They don't have to do anything.
Yeah, they don't have to do anything.
They can let him rot for all they care.
That's
Yeah,
true.
but why would they?
Why that makes them
Why?
look bad. Like
They
it's a
already
business
look
too.
bad.
Yeah,
Exactly.
NFL is
So they're
different.
not going to want to look even worse. It's a
The
business.
NFL
Come on.
and NBA operate differently.
Yeah, exactly.
It's the same type
NFL
of
is like-
people owning both. It's the same.
And
type of
let's
people.
also think about this. Why the hell would
NFL's super
Deshaun-
petty.
Why would Deshaun Watson want to go to the Cowboys if he was like, Houston doesn't get it? You know, Jerry Jones damn sure doesn't get it in Dallas. They don't get it.
Jerry Jones
Hey,
still
to be
makes good
fair-
trades and signings for players for the QB to throw to. Okay,
Yeah, I get
offensive
that.
line too, defense shaky, but still they do sign players.
Well, but I'm not talking about that. I'm not talking about Deshaun Watson says Houston doesn't get it. That's deeper than just playing. I think that has to do with other things. And Jerry Jones definitely doesn't get it in Dallas. If I'm
Do not
Deshaun-
kneel.
If I'm
Do
Deshaun
not kneel,
Watson,
Jerry
I'm
Jones.
there for that. But yeah, do not kneel, Jerry Jones. But if I were Deshaun, yeah, I would want to go play in Dallas, just because you actually have some receivers that can catch the ball and you can throw it to, and you have a actual receiving core, not just DeAndre Hopkins, because Fuller would get hurt all the time. Now you have Cooper, Gallup, CD Lamb. If Zeke Elliott can not fumble a damn ball, you'd have a decent running back. You know what I mean?
I think they should just trade Deshaun Watson to the Spurs.
Let's go, baby.
Oh, shoot, wrong sport. Sorry.
To be honest, I still think they should the best place for Deshaun Watson to go would be one of these 2 teams, the Saints or the Titans.
Is Drew Brees retiring?
Yes.
I would love to see him on the Titans. Book it. Titans are my new favorite, feel good team. I like the culture they built there.
Yeah. If you trade him, get rid of Ryan Tannehill and put Deshaun Watson in there, they're going to be fighting for the Super Bowl against Kansas City. Probably could beat them, quite honestly, because Kansas City ain't going to be able to stop Henry. And then with Watson running too and throwing to A.J. Brown, Corey Davis, if they re-sign him, I think they got another receiver. I can't remember. That's kind of decent too. Shoots. And Tennessee's defense ain't half bad either.
Yeah. Just Watson makes a lot of money, and they can't afford him.
What about Pittsburgh?
Big Ben's owed $40 million. I think
Yeah, I don't think
he's going to restructure, but still.
Yeah, I mean he. I don't know if. I mean, obviously putting Watson anywhere would probably make him better. In Pittsburgh, I don't think they could get over Kansas City. I don't think their receiving core is strong enough.
Juju Smith-Schuster?
Not strong enough. And they have no running game either. Chicago could be another one. They have a great defense. They just don't have a QB. And then with New Orleans, you have, I mean, if Breeze was accurate,
I'd do it if I was San Fran.
Yeah, Michael Thomas. I don't like him in
San Fran, really?
I don't like him in San Fran.
Elite defense, good offensive line.
I don't like him in San Fran.
So I'm looking.
You got Kittle and Debo, and you've got that rookie that was really good out of Arizona State.
The Kittle and Debo are nice, and you do have Mostert at the running back, but it depends if their running game can stay healthy because they're all damn near injured. Go ahead, Daniel.
I think one that we haven't mentioned yet. What about the Patriots?
No weapons.
Right now, they're number 2 on this current.
I think he said no. I think he said no to Patriots.
Of most likely landing spots.
Please no.
They're actually number 2 on this list right here that I'm looking at. The reasoning being they got pieces and
they would trade like Stephon Gilmore.
Bill Belichick's looking to win now.
Yeah, well, they still wouldn't unless they boost up that offense because they don't have any weapons. And I heard
a lot of the weapons back though. Remember, they had a lot of guys that didn't play this
on the defense. They don't have anybody coming on the offense. That's why they didn't have any weapons on the offense.
Tom Brady was able to take them to the Super Bowl. I think Deshaun Watson could come close.
Yeah, well, he had Amendola and Gronk and Wes Welker and even Burkhead was giving them some. Now, I don't see it. The Jets are another place. Please don't go to the Jets, Deshaun.
Yeah,
absolutely not.
Don't do it to yourself. We don't want to see that. Washington. Now, Washington could be a decent place for him to land. They're young. They have some talent. They have a decent defense that's rising. That'd be an interesting place to go to. So,
I just don't want. I mean, especially being a Dallas fan, I just want my picks.
So where
I just got too many. I got too many holes that I need to fill. I need my picks.
According to the Miami Herald, Watson's top 2 preferred destinations are the Jets and the Dolphins in that order.
Right. And I know the Dolphins. I'm like, okay, I can see it. I mean, him with you possibly getting Devontae Smith in the draft would probably be an upgrade over Tua. You know,
With third eye open, watch this after you're done.
Go ahead.
Nah, after you're done.
I'm done.
Respect. You go first.
I'm done.
No, keep going.
Go ahead. I'm done.
Okay, keep your third eye open. New York, Florida, Miami. 2 places you want to be with. In. Boom. That's the connection. Third eye.
Texas, New York, and Florida?
No, that's why the Jets and Miami are the top 2.
Oh, because the places you want to be in are New York and Florida?
Miami, specifically.
Miami. New York is the media capital of the world, but it's cold. And Miami, of course, it's Miami, South Beach.
No taxes.
And no taxes either.
No taxes is a big one.
I would definitely never want to be in New York if I was an athlete.
Yeah, me neither.
California, where's tax-free at? That's where I'm going. Where are tax-free those income tax?
Where is it? New York, Florida,
Texas.
Oh, I'm sorry, not New York. Texas, Florida, and somewhere in the South.
No, those are the 2. I think
it's just Florida, Texas.
It's just Florida and Texas. I want to say one of the coastal, like Puerto Rico or something like that, but that's not really valid.
It's gonna be something random like
Alaska,
Arizona.
Florida, Florida,
Alaska.
Nevada,
Ooh,
New Hampshire, South Dakota, Tennessee.
Can you imagine paying
Texas,
state taxes in Alaska? Ugh.
They give you a check.
Yeah, like pay me to come here.
Yeah.
Go work that pipeline, baby.
Yeah.
And just the
Shout out
wild.
to,
So
shout out to the water benders.
Alaska, I mean, there's no team in Alaska and it's cold. Florida, I mean, that's all of Florida, but Tampa Bay is obviously taking up. Miami would be the only choice. Nevada, no team.
Tennessee.
Ooh, Nevada.
South Dakota, no team. Tennessee, which is why I said the Titans. Texas, I mean, we know about that. Washington.
Country music.
Right. Washington, I mean, Seattle, but they have Russell Wilson. You could trade Russell Wilson, but I don't think that they will. In Wyoming.
Absolutely not.
He's leaving in 2 years. Just keep your third eye open.
Who are you sacrificing for the Illuminati, Greg? Who's the Deshaun Watson sacrifice?
I think he stays there. I think he's stuck. I don't see anybody trading for him.
The way they're talking about him is kind of funny, right? Like the coaches, oh no, he's the quarterback of our team. It's like, bro, he doesn't want to be there. You can't force the dude to be there. He's not going to play if he doesn't want to.
Obviously, you don't know the policy of the NFL. You sign that contract, you're our property.
No, yeah, but
we
I
don't
mean,
care.
you're there, but I mean, what I'm talking about is he doesn't have to play. Le'Veon Bell set out.
Yeah, and they'll let Le'Veon Bell rot. I don't care.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's yeah.
If you want to waste your career and sit on the sidelines, go ahead. We don't care. We're the NFL.
Pretty much, man. And that's going to do it for the season finale of Stats vs. Facts Sports Talk, baby. Season 2. We appreciate everybody for listening, watching, all that good stuff. Obviously, go follow us at Stats vs. Facts Sports Talk on YouTube. If you ain't got that VS, what you listening to, Daniel?
I don't know the answer to ask, Greg.
What you listening to? Hey, on 3, G Money and C Mac. If you ain't got that VS, what you listening to? Some BS. That's right. Man, what kind of enthusiastic thing is that?
This is like this is like going into a new club and everybody has a secret handshake and they like go up and expect you to know it and you just blank out. That's how I felt when you asked me that last time.
If you watch the show, which I know you do, you know if you ain't got that VS, you listening to some BS.
Yes.
.fm. So what you listening to, Danny G? You ain't got that VS, what you listening to?
No BS.
Ooh.
Listening to that BS.
I ain't listening to no BS.
That's right.
That's why I come on this podcast, because you guys don't spout no BS.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. Go check us out at SVS Sports Talk on Twitter and Instagram. Like I said, we're gonna be taking a little break, season finale. We'll still have some stuff out for you guys, coming back even stronger. I will be a year older. Birthday at the end of the month. You know what I mean? Have to turn up a little bit, but with COVID restrictions. You know what I mean? Got
social distancing.
That social distancing is absolutely correct. Go follow Mr. Cut Man. I mean, we about to make you a page, man. We gotta have a Cut Man's Corner page.
No,
man.
you gotta hump me down. It's like the Wild. You have to actually
hump you down.
To be able to find me. I don't like being found, man.
G Money need to stop. No, not hump him down, hunt him down. Chill.
Damn, Greg, tell me how you really feel, man.
Off air.
Season 3 is gonna begin with me and Greg in a steel cage or something.
Let's go.
Speaking of steel cage, we will have on with us 2 very, very famous San Antonio wrestlers. So stay tuned for that.
Oh, they're jabronis, bro. Come on. I'm just kidding. I know who you're talking about, right?
You know what I'm talking about.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
They going at it, man. So anyway, for Cutman, C-Mac, G Money, it's been your boy Marsh, and we will catch y'all next season. Oh, wait a minute. I got to find it, man.
Spoilers.
On that. Stats versus facts. Ayy, stats versus facts. Ayy, know where we at on the stats versus facts. Yeah, my boy, hella black. He black. On the stats versus facts. And you might get smacked by the stats versus facts. Ayy. Happy Valentine's Day, people.
Stay single.